Just trying to get back to positive territory as we get going here on a Wednesday morning. Don't blink, we might be there already. A little bit of a downtick here at 8:30, but just 0.4 to go for the S&P 500. NASDAQ a little bit worse off than that. But the movement back to the upside. Once again, nothing too significant on the economic calendar this morning. Specifically here at 8:30, we will get some housing data coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. We'll bring that to you. The big event of the day set to come through, though, at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The Meta Connect event will kick off with a keynote from Zuck. We'll hear about new VR glasses that are coming through from Meta. I was reading this morning. There's also more AI content coming through from them today. Again, we'll hear everything at 1 o'clock if you're participating or paying attention to this. For the first time, typically we get everything all at once at the beginning, and then the next couple of days. I mean, there's little bits and pieces that come through more specifically from the different divisions throughout the company, but nothing terribly exciting. That said, though, a lot of other things moving around here this morning. More positive analyst moves now that Tesla's been up all week long. Analysts like it once again. Rivian downside, Micron earnings to come. Lots to talk about today.
Lots, Brendo, lots. Apple iPhone sales not doing that well in China. Foreign cell phones not doing that well at all in China, despite their domestic producers doing much better. So lots to talk about there. Berkshire Hathaway offloading more Bank of America shares as he continues to readjust his portfolio there, as Brendo mentioned. Rivian getting the downgrade today from Morgan Stanley, but it wasn't the only one that they were targeting. Ford and GM also being downgraded from Morgan, saying new car inventories through the roof, and that's not a good look for any of them, Brendo. So lots to chat about today.
Yeah, there's this Google Microsoft European Union angle to talk about as well. Google filing a complaint with the EU over Microsoft's licensing practices, specifically for cloud computing over in Europe. So we'll touch on that a little bit. Reddit, I don't think it's moving around here this morning, but Reddit, I saw hiring a former Google ad exec as well to try and pump some more ad sales, I guess, for Reddit. We were talking about that on Monday. If you're with us with Michael Noss, we were touching on some IPOs from earlier in the year that are still holding up quite nicely. So Reddit making a push on the ad side, guys. Meta Connect, though, coming up today at 1.
That's right. Good old Meta events.
I should have brought my Oculus. I could have worn it here today. Could have been.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult. See, one day you'll be able to trade on that bad boy, but it'd be difficult to trade while having that on. Ooh, the
bananas are really weird.
These are like they're like smaller bananas than they were before, Randy. They're like, fair enough. Hey man, they've downgraded. I say they. Morgan Stanley? Whatever. It doesn't matter who. Rivian, GM.
Morgan Stanley, yeah.
Ford, I think it was Morgan Stanley downgrading the bunch. Rivian getting smacked again today, down like 3 points.
Yeah.
Not looking good, brother.
He's got to buy the dips, right? He's got to have enough money to buy the dips. Buy them forever, right, Randy? I don't. Not forever. Not forever until, well, it's eventually zero happens, right? I mean, what are my Fisker shares? I mean,
that's a pretty cheap price, though.
What's the
zero?
What's the Fisker symbol again? FS. Are bankrupt? Oh, BAN. Oh, anyways, yeah. But to Rivian's point, though, I see Rivian's on the road. Like, I see them. Yeah. The Fisker couldn't get off the plant, basically. So, and then Polestar is making some moves back upside. Here, I can call, here, this is what Rivian looks like, Randy. Let me just get that for you in a second here, once these load up. But anyways, today down 2.5%. And we had that nice bump up on that Volkswagen investment, I believe it was. Was it Volkswagen or Volvo? No, it was Volkswagen, wasn't it? Yeah, huge move up there. We were really happy and really proud of our investment down here at 11.25. Thankfully, we were able to get something out at 18, believe it or not. But we're still holding the bag as we come back into this level again. I feel like just from a technical standpoint, you're coming into some support down here. We've already been down here for 5-6 months and didn't move around $10. So I feel like that's where its home is. And as Happy Gilmore says, get in your home. You know, that's right. Like coffee, yes. Despite my energy.
The hottest coffee of all time.
Yeah, can you make it extra hot?
Burning hot. It's freezing in here.
Mr. Barista Man.
Like, I finally cave. I'm like, okay, I'm long sweaters. I'm not wearing shorts for the first time since I got hurt. It's like, it's ridiculous, though. Like, it's so cold in here. It is what it is. Hey, PSNY, man.
Yeah, I was going to call
It
that
just
one up.
no, it did. It actually bounced. Well, I was gonna call it Fisker, but then I forgot what the symbol is as well. And thank you to Darwin in the chat, FSRNQ on the OTC. I didn't have that memorized.
No, I was just joking. I knew that's what it was.
Oh,
but it's gone.
I legit didn't.
gone.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. So bye bye. But Polestar made a bit of a bounce.
It doesn't exist.
I mean, look, it bounced not yesterday. It bounced on Monday. Ooh, Daily Trade doesn't like me. But let's pull up the daily here. Like it's at this point, like you're just like it's like a squeeze type of name. That said, you know how many of these, when the chart looks this bad, are since earnings? Look at the run since earnings. It's been only up, trending higher, above the 50. Now holding the 200-period moving average. Dare I say it? But this actually doesn't look all that bad. Like holding the 140 at that 200 period, and then maybe taking out the top soon at $2. For now, I think you got a bit of a range trade, like 150, 140 looks pretty interesting down there on Polestar. But who knew? Bouncing off those lows. This is now up almost 300. What is it? Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, about $1.20, $1.10 from a 63-cent low. So PSNY actually making some moves here, and bears watching. If it can get through $2, it's still 8% short float. Anything can happen, but a good run for them since earnings, believe it or not.
Palantir had a little bit of a move there, back downside right now, but there was a new deal, yet another Palantir deal announced. Multi-year, multi-million-dollar expansion with APA Corporation to deploy AIP across the enterprise. So these two companies were already working together. It looks like, just reading through some of the details here, this is in the energy space, oil and gas industry. Just an extension of what they were already doing.
You love to see this because you don't always want to see government contracts and reliance on government contracts for their revenue generation. I remember talking about this earlier in the year. About 30% of the new contracts they're getting now are commercial, Brendo. So nice diversification there. And I know that their AIP has been working in different sectors, whether it's manufacturing, supply chain, or AI in the military. It seems to be doing a good job.
Yeah, not much of a reaction, though, for the stock. I mean, this was one that got hit pretty hard yesterday. Still holding some of these support levels, though, guys, from yesterday for Palantir.
Yeah. Well, they got that job. They got that deal also with Schlumberger. I mean, they're in the space now. I mean, exactly what Sharif was saying is right. I mean, you want to try to get that commercial money from different industries. You don't want to just rely on the government. But that's great. I mean, it's great news for Palantir. I still feel a little Palantir hangover because of the inclusion. So it's hard to know how much of this bump up was due to them getting that announcement into the S&P 500. You know, they're in there because of their profitability. They're in there because they got 5 straight EBITDA quarters, right? I mean, and they've already said, Alex Karp has said, barring something crazy happening, they're a profitable company moving forward. So, yeah, I mean, I think you buy all the dips. A general rule of thumb for me, and this is what we try to do, stocks making new highs, right? And so we've already made a 52-week high. It broke it here at 33 and change. Then it just took off. So generally speaking, I think like a 10% pullback, like that's why we have 50-period moving averages, basically. I mean, it's extended now. 50-period is like, if you want to look at Palantir, the last time we extended off the 50-period moving average was into here, pulled back right into it. We don't really get too extended, and right now we are quite extended. The market's at all-time highs, right? I mean, not the NASDAQ, but S&P 500, Dow Jones, gold, many markets upside, right? AI is all the talk, Palantir is all the talk. But the thing is how much of that bump up was the sort of, like I said, inclusion in the S&P 500. So I'd rather wait for a pullback. I think Palantir is a buy for your long-term portfolio. Like if we can get a 34, 35 dip, something like that. And then for today, I don't know, we're already into a support area right now that I thought could hold 36.50 and change. Obviously, this 36 bottom would be a good level as well. I'm pretty bullish today on the market again, even though we're a little bit red. So let's just wait to wind up seeing if we do get a dip, I guess, into 36. I don't know. I mean, it's going opposite of the market right now. It's a little more aggressive, sorry. So I could see a bit of a move down. I don't know. Palantir's really not on my radar today, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know what? I can't argue that either. 36. Like yesterday, I mean, it bounced off that 36.5 yesterday, and we're not moving on good news off of that level much here today. So I might wait back to like it was 35.8 down here. I think is a good support level. So if it gets down in there, like 36 even into 35.8, let it get to the other level down. We saw what the chips did yesterday, Nvidia really, and that's got to be top of the mind, top of the radar. We already talked about Rivian. Apple's going to be in play. I think Meta's a wait and see, but big moves here in gaming, I guess. Yeah, well, not really gaming, like betting and whatnot. Flutter with strong growth numbers here. So Flutter up 6%, and that is dragging DraftKings along with it. So DraftKings going up in sympathy with Flutter right now, breaking out here on the daily above $40. So yeah, this looks, I mean, Palantir, hey, they get a deal all the time. But yeah, Flutter on the move after strong numbers, and that's FanDuel, obviously. And then DraftKings making a bit of a breakout here on the daily. I keep forgetting that Flutter is actually listed. It's actually listed in the U.S. now. Like, you don't only have to see it in London.
Yeah, it was British.
Yeah, it was just a British company.
Yeah, we had talked about this DraftKings yesterday. It was on the sticky note yesterday, breaking through $40. It looks like you're not going to get that opportunity here today, but there's the break right there. So it happens one day post sticky note, but we had DraftKings on here yesterday. I like the stock. I think you buy it now. Honestly, let's figure out what that Flutter, what that's all about. But I think DraftKings goes back up here. You know, again, leader in the industry right now. You see them everywhere. You're watching sports. You see DraftKings. There's the breakthrough $40. I mean, I think it's all aboard on DKNG right now. Could be a valuable swing play. I mean, you'd like it to get that back down to 40. You know, grab that. But yeah, I like.
Yeah, maybe.
I like. You know what? What is the?
What
is the short float on DraftKings?
You know what's hilarious? I was just about to check. It's 5%.
Right. Okay.
That's not bad. It's not zero, but it's not bad at all. Like, what's
November 1st?
Yeah, you know, the other thing too about it, I'm just looking it up on Trade Ideas too. It's not just like the local break of 40. It's like this low as well, and then you throw on top of that. Oh, this is that's Sean's chart. Can we come to my chart for a quick little second?
I'm already showing the $40 anyway.
Yeah, but the thing I wanted to show here was, there you go. Like you also there you go. You also are breaking out of a clean trend since it tagged like it reversed off of 50. So there's a very clean trend line to the downside, or that just disappeared to whatever, doesn't matter. But it's breaking out that trend now as we speak. So you've got trend resistance that is now broken, like it consolidated above that trend, and now you're breaking out above it. So that's a little bit of confluence to DraftKings. Keep an eye on Flutter. Like if it's a sympathy earnings play, if Flutter does dip, that gives you the chance to get in at 40 here, or any kind of a dip buy in a prior resistance on DraftKings. And so Flutter had strong numbers. They did a buyback of $5 billion. Just cited, it was also free cash flow, $2.5 billion for Flutter by 2027. They're targeting $21 billion in revenue by 2027 as well. So, you know,
I mean, gambling is an addiction.
It's not going anywhere.
It's an addiction. That's what it is. Like every time people are depositing money, it's going right into someone else's pocket. And unfortunately, is that my coffee?
I think it's got oat milk in it.
Oh, and we got to tell Randy. I didn't even really sip mine yet. Okay, we'll have to get a refill on that one. But anyways, I like DraftKings. I think it's an opportunity there to get involved. And unlike, you know, cannabis and anything like that, you can't just plant a seed in the ground and start selling this. This is a name where you need to get the customers. They've already acquired them. You know, I like the space. I don't think this is something that goes up in smoke like that aforementioned space.
It's literally a weed. Grows like one too. Here is a daily chart of Meta. So we're just below yesterday's low, I guess, but all-time highs as of yesterday. We faded with the overall market being a little bit weak. Almost positive here this morning as we sit here in the pre-market, but what a run this thing's had into this Connect event coming up.
It's a rocket, Brendo. It has been a rocket. Let's talk about what they're going to unveil today. Their first lineup of augmented reality glasses. That's where you superimpose images on top of reality. Waiting for that, we're going to get the first look at that. It's supposed to be launched in 2027. High production costs for these big boy spending here. They spend about $37 to $40 billion in 2024. Just for, you know, the Meta Labs, I believe they call it the Reality Labs, excuse me. So we're also going to get the AI chatbots, Brendo, that are based on celebrity voices. And they plan another generation with text and image display viewfinder, so that should be included with the glasses as well. But I'm all eyes and ears. I want to see how this works out.
Yeah, typically, as we've seen with the Apple event every year, even Google when it launches the Pixel phones, it's more a if something is not said, a sell the event or sell the news kind of event. But we'll see what happens. Again, 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm just keeping an eye on yields here. I was just hearing in my ear that they were moving around, but I don't really see anything. That's the U.S. dollar. The DXY all the way back to July lows almost. We got through that last stop. That's July of 2023, FYI. We got through that last stop, which was the beginning of the year. So this is January of 2024. And now we're all the way back to last summer lows here, guys, for the dollar as well.
Little weakness in ye old USD. The other thing, and we try to go over everything in the morning, and I feel like if you're looking at the dollar, a lot of traders are going to probably look at what's going on with crypto. Still the same wall here at 64. It's not a wall, that's a bad term, but still the same resistance. We failed the 64 break recently. Now you're consolidating a little bit underneath that, so that's worth keeping on watch. ETH kind of doing a similar story. That's a daily. I don't want a daily chart. Let's go to 15. Doing a similar story, just kind of backing off highs. But as long as we're underneath 64, I know yesterday we were talking a lot about, well, I mean, every time we talk crypto, I kind of mention Mara for the sort of obvious selling that's going on above $16.50 on this stock. When you see this type of action on Mara, like it's got that like heartbeat action going on there. And if you zoom in this 15-minute chart, there's really kind of just one or two trades you can put on. I would argue maybe you can go long at the 15 level. That's made sense. But then it's made a ton of sense to just be shorting it at or above $16.50. Like every time it's gone up there, there's been a pretty hefty reverse. Like there. Like it's 5 or 6 times where if you get it at the open, it's trying to break out $16.50. And this is with Bitcoin under 64, not breaking 65. And it just can't seem to break out. Obviously, at some point, a pattern like this does break out. And I think it's more of like a 16.80 or a $17 breakout that'll happen on Mara. Until then, when it's doing this kind of a move and it's this much barcoding, all you can do is look for the scalp trade inside of the range. As long as we're not breaking out on BTC, I think you're kind of safe in the high 16s. But at some point, this is going to break $17, and you want to be there when it does, because we know this can fly around a little bit here. So Mara's going to be on watch again. Maybe it breaks 17 today. I don't know. Maybe it breaks it next week. But until then, you got a range to trade.
I think this 36. I was just looking at IBIT again. You know, we're breaking back down below 64,000. So you can use sort of the 20-minute chart here on IBIT to see that we have this level right here, 3640. So if we're thinking a little negatively here on crypto, I think you can go short almost immediately now and then use this 3640, 3650 area as your, in this case, will be resistance. So I think that's a great play. I think if you break below here too, 3550 back in, that's good. 200 period possible support. So that's where this short becomes a little shady. That's probably going to be support once it gets down into there with the 200 period. So yeah, it's kind of in a zone right here. I'd rather play the short because we're below 64,000. Let's see if we break 3650. So that's the first trade. And then if it is a free fall, I think you can short 3550 and bring that into 34-ish areas. So we'll see. I mean, a retest of 60,000 on Bitcoin wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it happens today, but a little bit of a downside push. Remember, the NASDAQ has had a nice little run here, right? So has IBIT. IBIT's had a nice move, so has Bitcoin. We've seen a little bit of a laggard there. Yesterday, Cardano was up 6 or 7%, which was nice. But we've seen a laggard with Ethereum. I think that might be the next one to catch up. Wouldn't be surprised if some money rotates from one into the other. But for now, I mean, I like the crypto space. I think it's holding really well. And to diversify, right? You got to diversify. And I think that there is more money flowing in. We have options now eligible for some of these ETFs. I like the crypto space. I think it's getting more justified every day. But for me, for right now, this looks like a short on the daily, right? 36, 40, 37. So until we break that, I think you play underneath it and you stick with the short. Okay, we can go, Fabian, if we're ready over to the... No, we're not ready quite yet. So with Adara, Adara's off until Monday. So we are ready to go over to the screen here with Sharif.
All right, guys, let's get into some upgrades and downgrades. DoorDash getting the nod today after getting downgraded yesterday by Keith Briette today, up 2%. HPE, good look for them as they compete with Dell and SMCI. 4AI Enterprise getting the upgrade as well. AutoNation getting the upgrade from Morgan Stanley. They seem to be very bullish on car sales, but not really car manufacturers. Ford, GM, Rivian all getting downgraded by Morgan Stanley today, and Marathon Digital getting the upgrade, but still down on the day. As I mentioned, Ford and Rivian getting downgraded by Morgan Stanley. Tyson Foods also getting a downgrade there from Piper Sandler. And Global Payments, guys, with that Visa headline yesterday, also down.
Yeah, well, dashing to fresh highs is DoorDash, apparently, taking out the top as we speak. So, it's actually done pretty much no volume. So it's not, I don't know if it's going to be a day trade today, but obviously you can see this one breaking out. We talk about the breadth and a lot of names moving into highs and breaking out, and there's so many things that you could be looking at that are a lot stronger than always bottom picking. I get it. Everyone likes to bottom pick. But DoorDash looking pretty strong in here. The other name, a couple of names adjacent. I know Michael Noss has also mentioned Instacart has been one of the ones he's looking at for a strong IPO, kind of heading in the other direction in the other direction after its breakout. And you don't wonder, when you see that, what happens? Do you break out? Do you end up having breakouts and pullbacks? Well, with Cart, I feel like on that day that was a bad wick, but with Cart, can it now settle at that previous high at 39? There was some news on Uber, but it's not doing a heck of a lot of volume. So I know DoorDash, you might see with that breaking higher some sympathy over in Uber, but Uber's got something big coming up, and it's not Uber's event. It's going to be Tesla's event. And I feel like that robotaxi event is going to be a big move for Uber. So Uber struggling. It's made the breakout, but it's really kind of struggling to get back up toward its high after breaking out. Last week, it broke out on the daily at 75. It's at 77.5. I kind of thought you'd make this break on Uber and you'd just go strong into the high 80s before that event. But yes, slowly climbing higher is Uber, but it's DoorDash that's flying through the top.
Yeah, so the name that I have on there, and we're going to talk about it because it's going to be on our watch list, which it is. You can go get it. Link in description for the watch list. I need to have a watch list button, so every time I talk about it, I can push it. So send me those that code, Fabian, if you do have it, one that I should hit. But I think on that note, for me, it's going to be Rivian. We are going to talk about this. We had a monster trade on Rivian this day when it broke right through here, 1285. As soon as we had that short, we nailed this, man. This was a big trade alert for us on Rivian. And right now, it doesn't look like it wants to hold that gap fill. Obviously, it's filled it, and now it wants to make a move lower. So for me, I think Rivian, we talked about this a little bit with Randy, I think Rivian sits in around $10 at some point, and I like that level down there, 10 and change for Rivian. So for me, that's a short today. I've written it down. The sticky note is now out. You can go find it. I wrote down short 1175, and it's the only current pending order that I have. And it was just trying to get near the 200 period moving average. 1175, yesterday's kind of closing price, 1185. We'll take it somewhere in the middle here and not worry about it. So I'm hoping for a bump up in Rivian off the open to get a little short. We may have to hit the pre-market low, though. Let's give that a second. So right now with the market flat, Rivian down 3%, I think we've picked our poison.
All right, a few other things moving around here this morning are worth noting anyways. We had that big move in Nike going back, what was that, end of last week. We're kind of hanging out here where we ended yesterday, but Nike trimming their full year forecast as it resets expectations after the CEO change. That was from an analyst this morning, so a little bit of a cautionary note on NKE. Both F and GM, as Sharif was mentioning, downside here. They look very similar. There's Ford, GM. Just took out the lows, trying to bounce back up here. But yeah, Morgan Stanley not liking them today.
No, Brando. 3 specific reasons that Morgan is kind of bearish on the new car industry. U.S. auto inventories are increasing, according to their analysts. Also, vehicle affordability remains out of reach for many households. We know we saw huge inflation with new car sales during the pandemic. Those prices still haven't come down. credit losses as well as delinquencies are rising in less than prime consumers. We know that one bank in this country, Bank of Montreal, BMO as it's known down south, has gotten completely out of the used car or car financing business because there was such high delinquency. So a bit of a tough look here. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, we can add Rivian, of course, to this list as well. Morgan Stanley also putting them on their not so popular list. We're right back to this last line in the sand support here almost, guys. $10 incoming, it would appear, for Rivian.
Is that really the name of the list? The not so popular list? I like that. See, that's what they should just...
Not that popular.
No, but all these analyst lists, it's our top idea list or whatever. Like, they should just do more fun stuff like that, like the not so popular list. It ain't so hot. Things aren't doing well. The list... You know what? Actually, General Motors, I'm going to start with them because it's the one that doesn't depress you when you look at the chart, really. But yeah, rejecting $50 on GM. I think you're in trouble of losing the 50 period, and this is probably wait till the 200 period moving average for some support. When something like this, the others are reaching lows, you're getting pretty bearish in the overall space, then you lose that 50. I think you're headed to the 200. It's been the best performing so far. I don't necessarily, I look, on my note, Rivian's a trade today too, just like it wasn't a flat bottom break before. Ford's never really all that great a day trading opportunity, but it's now starting to respect the 50 period here. It didn't really care about the major moving averages, but since it lost, like right in here, losing that flat bottom 1150, now resistance, I think you could be trending back into $10 or maybe regretfully a hat size when it comes to them. But Rivian's clean. Like anytime you have a flat bottom break like this, the look is short to next support. And then look for opportunities to be short till next support. It's that simple. Michon outlined the 1175. I think if it can't even break the pre-market high, 1140 is a local bottom break. So that's a flat bottom break there on Rivian.
Yeah, we've sort of talked about.
Was that you?
This is mine.
Yeah.
Because Randy screwed it up. He gave you mine.
I'm going for it. Why not? It's good.
Of course. You should always be up for change.
Always try new things. So far I'm not a huge fan of it because I'm used to black coffee, but the oat milk, it's not bad.
Exactly. I thought you're the opposite of always try new things, but
no, I will try anything. But if I don't like it, I'm not going to keep going back to it. No, I'll try anything once. Like, it's just. I'll give it a chance, but if I don't like it, I'm one of those.
It's a little too bitter just being just black, but I think it's close, man. I think it's close. I think I put like a splash of milk. I don't know how much he puts it, but this is. I see it's just the color. It's like it's not, but this is almond milk, or oat milk. I think it's almond this time. All right. As we talk about Rivian, we just talked about it a couple minutes ago. It was at 1145, and right now it's at 1140 and going lower. So Rivian is on today's sticky note. So it's right here. I like the stock to the sell side, short 1175. It's the only short idea I have on here. Well, actually, we'll talk about Stitch Fix. We talked about that yesterday on the market recap show about how bad that was. But I really like Rivian. I like Stitch Fix, Nvidia, Baba, and the NASDAQ all on here. So go find it at Trader TV. Sean, just give some ideas about what you're trying to do, look for. But there goes Rivian already. It's too bad. Like 5 minutes ago, we were talking about it. Even if you take 500 shares, you're in the money now, even 6-7 pennies, 30, 40 bucks will get yourself some breakfast. But right now, there it goes to the downside. Rivian keeps on going. Maybe we have to punch it. Remember I said we'll probably have to take the pre-market low. Looks like that's what's going to happen. We don't have NASDAQ imbalances or anything out yet, so just 9 o'clock and nothing really on here. Alibaba with a sell. What did I say yesterday? I know we're going to get to this, honestly, but yesterday we had talked about fading all this. I said, you know what, that's a really nice story about China and everything, but the problems are still rampant there, and you got to fade that play. So there it is again, man. We'll put another one up on the board for everybody. Hopefully that was something that some of you took in consideration. We actually talked about that also on the market recap show with Brian Shannon. I was all about fading all of these names. I'm not happy to come in and see Alibaba down 3.25%. Obviously, I own the stock, but I knew that was kind of watch my language, but a BS move to the upside there yesterday. I think it's a nice trend. I think it's going to continue, but I think Alibaba comes back in. I think you get a chance at 90 soon for this stock. I wrote down, let's see about buying some 94s. It just bounced off 94 right here. So let's just wait to see if it can hold. I'm not so certain about this play anymore.
Okay, let's get into everything else we need to talk about here this morning. Sharif will kick it off here with a look at the overall S&P.
We took that 57.75 level decisively yesterday, closing above it. The overnight high now knocking on the door of 5,800 on the ES December contract now, guys. So the overnight low is that 75-point area. So let's see if we can use that former area of resistance as support. To the as resistance, we're looking at 5,800, but if we take it, we'll use it as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you go down to the description of this video. Hit the link for the watch list. All you need is your email address, and then you can get everything you need to know delivered right to your inbox every single day for absolutely nothing. It's free, so why not? Let's talk about some, in the description. Let's talk about some semiconductors here. Back to the upside right now, led by Nvidia once again. What is this? 0.92 right now, positive for Nvidia after a bit of a pullback over the past couple of days here, it's worth noting. But I think if you look at the overall market versus some of these, definitely a lot of relative strength.
The market really liked the fact that Jensen stopped selling, and they really started buying when he stopped selling. So that was a really good couple of days there for Nvidia, retaking 120 yesterday. Today, after the bell, we have Micron reporting earnings, and we all saw what happened to Micron this past year. More than $70 billion has been wiped off the market cap. So today, the analysts are expecting a profit of 82 cents per share, adjusted, earnings at around 7 2/3 billion. So we'll have to see how they do. But Brendo, they're down 33% in the past 3 months.
It's worth noting. Not good. No. It's worth noting Nvidia, this was this morning as well, Nvidia joining XPeng at Alibaba's Apsara conference to showcase more AI products coming up later this month. So another conference that, as you were saying, Jensen's going to be speaking at.
Lots of fun. I mean, that's the thing about the corporate life. You get conferences, like it seems like every single day there's like some conference you can just be gallivanting to back and forth. The good old jet setter life. But the jet setter was the breakout on Nvidia. If you weren't trading yesterday, or if you weren't looking at the market yesterday, then you probably, the first thing you would have heard about or noticed was the massive move that Nvidia did in the middle of the day. So it did, like, it was weak in the morning, dipping down into that prior support, and then just broke out the top. Nvidia is back sort of on one again. I mean, this isn't split adjust, but who cares? I can zoom in and show you. You've now held the 50-period moving average. You've now broken this lower high at that 120. I think that sets up a couple of looks today, but obviously that 120, which was the prior high, you dipped in the afternoon to there. So I think support at 120, breakout through the high today. I'm not really looking short on this thing. We get Micron after the bell today. So I'm probably going to sit that one out. And then don't want to completely forget about Intel. We were mentioning this in the afternoon show, that every time Intel has gotten to $23 since making this nice little bottom here on the speculation of a deal, you've got resistance at 23 1/3 and then lower highs into it. So I still think this is a breakout through 23 1/3. It's just red today. It might not happen today. I know, generally speaking, like if it fails at 23 level, that's been a good short. Like let it get to 23 and then fade it when it loses it. But it's putting in higher lows the whole way. At some point, this is going to be the breakout through that 23 1/3 as well. So I'm looking for the long end for sure on Nvidia. Intel probably has to wait. It's red when the market's flat and doesn't show signs of that breakout happening today. Maybe after Micron's earnings.
All right, oh man, I just saw a stupid Puff Daddy headline.
Oh,
God.
God.
So ridiculous. It's like whenever I open up Twitter, it's like there's something there all the time. Okay, so there it is right there, Nvidia. Look, I mean, I'm looking at yesterday, 115 long. The day before, I mean, we had Nvidia 113 long on this one. We had Nvidia right here, 110. Okay, at the end of the day, we're up here again. We have to take a long break here of 122. We saw it play out yesterday. We have to play. Buyers are piling in. Dip buys into 119. I mean, I think that Nvidia is a go again today. This is like, it's like I feel about Tesla the last couple of days on those breaks. And we'll get to Tesla when we talk about Rivian. But, I mean, there's yesterday's top right here. We've already broken it. I wrote down 122. Break, I think, was the exact price. Yeah, so we've already sort of broken that. The day's high, well, actually, we haven't. The day's high is 122 flat. So I just think you play this momentum. Yesterday, if you played the momentum long early, you had one, and then about 10 o'clock, the whole market fell on its face, and then this thing got going at about 11 o'clock, straight to the upside, and just started going, as the kids say, ham. And it was just going, gone. I wrote down 119 for dip buy. Why that level? Because I was just thinking this could retrace back, and it's not, 120 is the area. So what I was trying to think about was, and I said this to Marissa last night, and I apologize talking all this work with her all the time, but it was like, I got to give a little bit more space, because yesterday we were talking about 115 on Nvidia. So despite this name coming back in here on Nvidia, it stops at 115.50, and we actually didn't have the long because the market was falling in, and I was like, well, we got to wait, and we missed it. So I'm thinking 119 would be a spot where I would drop any of my bids. So what that means is I'm probably going to be sitting here at 120. Let's see if we get a fade back into 120, start the long there, build it into 119. Then if we lose 119, we'll get out. That way, the most we'll lose on this trade will be at most $1, because we'll start the bidding here, we'll average it in back halfway through, and then when we lose 119, we can get out of it. So that's my risk plan here for Nvidia. More importantly, I think the break happens. When it does, you got to play it at least back to the 50-period moving average. So whatever that is, you might even want to hold all the way to VWAP, which is only 120, 140. So I feel like it's almost a free ride on Nvidia today. I think you just want to go long and see what happens. The Nasdaq flat, Nvidia up again. They're running for the best stocks, and I think Nvidia is that with its PE. I mean, I like the stock compared to its to the rest of the space. I mean, if you're going to look at Micron tonight, that could be a reason to stay away from Nvidia. So I do understand that, but we'll worry about that as it gets closer to 4 o'clock. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk.
Brought to you by VinFast, Vietnam's leading electric vehicle manufacturer. They've announced their Q2 2024 financial results. Deliveries for the quarter up 44% quarter over quarter, with 13,172 EVs delivered, bringing their first half total to over 22,000. That is a 101% increase year over year. Q2 revenue climbing to $357 million, up 33% quarter over quarter. VinFast's success in Vietnam is pivotal, driven by rising EV adoption. With global expansion and new models like the VF3 and the VF8 on screen, VinFast aims to deliver 80,000 vehicles in 2024, maintaining their commitment to sustainable mobility. Let's talk Meta here, trying to hold on to some support levels right now. I mean, we're basically flat on the morning for Meta heading into Meta Connect. We'll hear from Zuck coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. on the West Coast.
Wonderful, come out in the glasses. Just get a little hype going, Brendo. So today, guys, we're expecting the first of a new line of products from Meta, augmented reality glasses. We already got their other glasses earlier this year, but these ones are going to superimpose different things that don't exist onto reality. So we'll wait to see how that does. $37 to $40 billion is how much they've spent on this already this year. So really a lot of emphasis behind it. The high production cost, though, is limiting the amount of these initially, and we're going to get them a little bit later, Brendo. 2027 is the date.
If anyone hasn't taken the time to do so, there's a really great conversation that Emily Chang from Bloomberg had with Mark Zuckerberg. It's on YouTube. This is going back to earlier in the year, but really great. It's about an hour, I think, or so.
I like how she does jet skiing too, or
yeah, they go to the cottage.
Yeah.
So, anyways, worth checking out.
Yeah, why not? I mean, like the thing about these Meta, well, it's not just Meta. Apple has a similar thing when they have their events, and 1 o'clock will come around. I don't usually like trading it going into it, but certainly after. And you don't know when, whether it's at the end of the event or maybe in the middle of it when something might get said about pricing. You make a bit of a top, and if it starts to roll over, that's the party that I want to join, generally speaking. The old sell the news event. We saw this, we've seen this happen way too many times, and we can go over the levels, no questions asked. It's got a topping tail on the daily here. Like you made a fresh high, 560. There we go. Like yesterday's high was like 67 or so, but you made a fresh high above 70. And it's been in a reversal. Obviously, it's only been a couple of days since then. It was a good recovery for Meta. Not quite getting back into the highs, but right back into a 565 resistance zone. So I think that's obviously a key level for the morning. I'm not trading off of that. Like, if it breaks it out, I'm just going to wait till 1 o'clock. I feel as if it never breaks the 565 level, then that'll give you an easy target come 1 o'clock to try to be short into on the event. So since making a fresh high, it's been a little bit of a sell, and I feel like waiting for this event in particular. But unlikely that I'm going to be in the stock, but if it just starts running and there's never any curl after 1 o'clock, I don't want to just sit there and stand out in front of it. But if it's under a resistance level, I'd take the short. If it's somehow making fresh all-time highs at the event, I probably don't want to fade it at that point, but you got to wait till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I remember trading this, one of the last events. I think it was a very similar one as this, and they released their last, I think they were talking about the Ray-Bans, they were talking about the Oculus 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever one it was. And it was pretty violent as Zuckerberg was dancing around on stage there. So I feel like you just got to wait, like Neil mentioned. But, I mean, not much volume happening now. So I don't know why we're nervous hands about this stock. It doesn't look like anybody's really doing anything. So I think you could just sort of play it by ear here. If you do get drops into yesterday's low, the market rebounded so huge off of that. I think it's a buy down here at 55555. So play these fives as a wild card down there. I like the stock. I think it's fantastic. I think we want to talk about playing stocks that are on highs and waiting for pullbacks. I mean, if you can get anything, even to 540, which wouldn't be that much of a pullback, but that could be a good starter position. And then the 50-period moving average, again, I really like Meta. It's a huge part of my portfolio now. And I still think it continues to win, man. The advertising space, you have to use Meta. You have to use Instagram. I think Reels is obviously huge for them. Everything. I like the stock, WhatsApp, everything about Meta right now. And you know what's really funny, too? You don't see this guy, parading around Congress anymore. The U.S. government seems to be completely fine as of now. Anyways, it looks like they're pointing guns at Google and other names like that. But I haven't seen Zuckerberg sit on a phone book in a long time in Congress. So we'll wait to see. Hopefully those headwinds are behind them and tailwinds now for Meta.
Sharif and I were just saying it might come down to how many gold chains he's wearing on stage this afternoon, more so than what he actually says. But anyways, yeah, the rebrand of Mark Zuckerberg continuing. We'll touch on Alibaba. Downside right now, 2.8% after the huge day yesterday. I mean, all of these yesterday had a massive day on that the surprise stimulus from the Bank of China and the government over in that country, specifically targeted at the real estate industry in that country that's been struggling for years and years and years. So a bit of a pullback here this morning.
There was a lot of Chinese ADRs in double-digit territory yesterday, Brendo, so it was a very strong day for them. People's Bank of China yesterday announced wide-ranging policy easing measures. Brendo mentioned the property industry, which has been one of the most suffering industries there, but that's not the only thing they're going to do. They're also lowering borrowing costs, injecting funds into the economy and supporting the stock market, but analysts are mixed about whether this is enough. So investors are concerned that China's stimulus plans won't be enough to significantly boost demand for more than the intermediate term. This follows initial optimism, though, about the stimulus. We'll have to see how they trade today.
Yeah, it's trying, Baba anyway, it's trying really hard to hold on to pre-market lows, guys, right now from yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday, PDD was kind of the one that I felt if we pressed far enough was going to get into the more obvious short zone. Like, most of everything was kind of flying around, and there weren't super obvious places for a Baba retracement unless it got to like 100 to 10. It was like 100 to 102 or something like that. But PDD certainly looked like it was poised to get to the 50-period moving average. It ends up not. So 115 looking like the curl spot. I thought it was going to press maybe into the 120s, and then you get like a good reversion trade. But now that it's made a 115 top, like, remember, they were under pressure for some of their, some of their Shein practices. If the run up came because of that, and the U.S. government wants to crack down on that, then it's already a bad thing. And you saw what happened on the daily chart. It's kind of diddling in the middle, unfortunately. You're at a 111, and 15 would be that top. So it's going to take some kind of a move to get it there for any kind of a fade on PDD. So I'm not necessarily seeing the opportunity in unless something spectacular happens. NEO, on the other hand, if you just look at yesterday's bottom, 565, and then go right into some previous highs. It's 555 on that 5 minute, on the 3 minute, sorry. And if you go to the daily chart here, like it was right about here, like 555, 565, that was prior resistance. So it's a simple over-under. Like if NEO doesn't hold that low, I think it's headed to the 200 period moving average, where I figured there'd be some support there the way it was rounding about. So, NEO over-under 565 makes more sense. I just doubt Pinduoduo gets to 115 bucks. I thought it would get to 120 for a fade yesterday. It never did. So today it would have to go up 4% just to get to the spot that I'd want to short PDD. NEO much more likely to test 565 right away.
Look, yesterday, I mean, this was a great trade for me. I had NEO right here at 575, 585. Actually, it was 585. We had that short boom, and then we lost 4 pennies on the way back to the upside as we shorted 86 is 5 pennies and got out at the end of the day up there. So this was a good trade for us yesterday. So bang on that one. I will not be trading it today, though. I'm going to be looking at Alibaba, and we wrote this one on our sticky note here today. And we already talked about this earlier. I like the stock here, but we did call the pullback in these Chinese stocks, and so down 3%. That might have even been more than that. But there's Alibaba. We wrote down $94 long. And it's just like pulling back here today. We talked about that yesterday. Let's see what levels hold. If we take it, let's take a shot, give it to 93.50. So we basically just plant this. Go find it at Trader TV, Sean. We plant these ideas, and let's just see if they hold. So not only did they hold, we talked about this. I mean, the sticky note, was out here. We just held right there. We actually hold the 94 area that we mentioned. So let's just wait to see. There's 94.50. It's kind of in no man's land right here. I mean, obviously, a nice little pullback in would be something. This is where I think you start to buy it, $90, $91. But I wouldn't worry about that until 93 or so coming into play. So I'd wait to 93 there for Baba. If we're going to go long 94, which I think we will, we'll give it to 93.50. I might. It's getting close now that I'll put a bid on Alibaba. So again, we talked about some of the Chinese stimulus yesterday. We talked about this on the market recap show. Again, we called up FXI. Again, called a pullback in this. Was up over 10% yesterday. And there it is. Nice little downside push here, right? So this is the China big cap ETF. You can easily look to see if it breaks yesterday's sort of low there of 29 flat. I think that's a break short in China. So you don't even really have to look at individual names. If you watch the FXI, that should be good enough. I don't think it has a 50-cent move in it, but I'd watch that 29 level for FXI.
Yeah, there's a lot of, we were just talking about the iPhone 16 Pro. We're going to touch on Apple here. There was a note from New Street I just saw. New Street analysts expecting a 10% miss overall on iPhone 16 deliveries or shipments. For this quarter, or the first quarter, it will be out. There was also some data on China, initial sales in China, missing expectations here. This note from Benzinga suggesting that the 16 Pro Max camera failing to top the global rankings in quality. Sharif and I were just saying, like, I think it's getting to a point with this technology where it's very personal. Like you almost have, some people might like certain aspects of what the iPhone does. Some people might like certain aspects of what the Pixel cameras do, but interesting, not even on the top of the list.
No, certainly not. Let's talk about some China, though. This was a bit of an issue here. Overall sales for cell phones in China were up decidedly year over year, 26.7%, but that was not the case for foreign-made products. In fact, including Apple's iPhone, foreign branded smartphones declined at 12.7% in August, so not a good look there. Separately, Morgan Stanley coming out over here in this article you see on your screen talking about the lead times for iPhone 16 delivery. Here's the look. They're saying this one is far ahead of its predecessors. However, supply chain has markedly improved, and that's not being accounted for in the lead times. So there's only one way to find out. Let's see how many they sell at the end of the quarter.
And I mean, you and I were talking about this going back a couple days ago. I mean, it seems like this happens every single year when these start rolling out. Everyone thinks the numbers are going to miss.
I know.
And then the first quarter earnings come around and they blow it out of the water. So we'll see. I was just reading through this New Street article that just came out, but I mean, they're pointing to the late rollout of Apple Intelligence as the primary reason why they think a 10% downside miss for deliveries, guys.
Yeah, like, I mean, as Sharif said, right? Like, wait till until the actual numbers come out. Like, we'll get to see. That's the good part about, waiting around for earnings, and it's the best part about long-term investing is really you don't have to worry. Like, if you're an Apple shareholder, you don't have to worry about this day-to-day speculation in terms of how it's going. As a day trader, I don't want to completely ignore that, like Meta, that we were just talking about Meta, a bit of a topping tail. The difference is not topping tail candle at a fresh high, but this lower high on Apple right in here. Like, it topped out 230, it was like 231, 232, and you've been in a 2-day reversal since with the same resistance level. I mean, obviously, if it gets to like 229, you can see the resistance. Kind of looking at this lower high in here. We closed at 227 and a third, and this is about 227.80. So that to me is like the Alamo. Like, if it gets back above that, I think Apple's pretty bullish. I'm just looking. This is one that I'm looking for short up at that level. But keep in mind, you've got 226 for 2 days now, has also been a support level. So there's a decent chance that if it regains 226, you could have like an inside move on Apple for the morning, because that's a good 1% range. Like, I could easily see if it holds 226, you might have a bit of an inside scalpable range from 26 to 28. But it's the 28 level in there, like 27.5, that I'm looking fade on Apple. Doubt we'll see that 229, but that'd be a valid area of resistance as well. So since that topping tail kind of favoring the shorts, I've got a couple of questions. People have asked, like, am I looking at DJT again today? Well, the difference, and the only reason I'm not looking at DJT is it's up and hasn't found a resistance spot. So it made the SSR bounce yesterday because it was down over 10% the day before. It was a decent bounce play and did short off the 13 level, but it's now gapped above 13. The next key spot would be about 1440. So unless it retests up there, 1440, I'm going to try to let it play out. And I don't mind. I paid for locates. I just don't have a level other than 1440, which is $1 away. Can always find something else. But yeah, Apple, I'm going to be shorting the pop if it gets to 228. DJT is a wait and see for me, for everyone that asked.
Yeah, so for Apple, for me, I'm not really dealing with it today, honestly. It's something that I feel like we can look at as the day goes on, right? I mean, it's like yesterday, I could not have thought this was going to happen, excuse me, after hitting 229 early. Then it faded back down almost $4 straight to the downside with not too much give in it at all. And then we found a bottom, and then that's where we started to go. So I feel the same kind of ways today. You're already beneath. If you were looking short, which I'm not, I'm still pretty bullish today, to be honest with you, even though the market is flat right now. I like to go long on stock here. I'm not sure that I want to go short on anything. We already talked about Rivian and Stitch Fix. Those are the ones I'm looking at. I only have one offer out right now, or one pending order, and that is on Rivian. We'll get a little more excited once we see these imbalances. But I mean, at the end of the day, there is support here at 224, you would think. I mean, when we go resistance, breaking through, turning now into support. So there it is. It's held 224 before. 224.50 is where the 200 period moving average is. It's hard for me not to say that if this can get in here to 224 and bounce around a little bit, that this can't be like one of those YOLO longs into the close if you think the market's going to bounce. So I think this 224 is a great spot for Apple. It's not super exciting for me here today because I want to look long. But right now the market's underneath the 50-period moving average and pulling in. So in a couple minutes, we'll get those imbalances. If they're all sell side, then we can easily change up our mind here. Just like we did on Amazon yesterday, we were able to go long, try to defend that 192. Once 192 broke, then we flipped over to the short. I feel like I could have the same feelings here at 224 for Apple. That's the key level.
We touched on it earlier. Here's a couple of counter opinions on Rivian this morning. I mean, the stock itself down, what is that, 3.6% right now. Morgan Stanley with the downgrade. I mean, they downgraded basically the entire automotive sector today outside of Tesla, but trying to bounce right now back above 1140. But yeah, Cantor Fitzgerald coming back with reiterating overweight on Rivian, maintaining their price target at $19, significantly higher.
Battle the analyst, Brendo. All right, couple of comments here. Number one, with respect to the auto industry in general, as Brendo was talking about, Morgan Stanley, that is kind of bearish on the industry. 3 reasons. Auto inventories are increasing, vehicle affordability remains out of reach for a lot of individuals, and credit losses and delinquencies are rising for loans for cars. Specifically, though, with respect to Rivian, Morgan Stanley questions Rivian's ability to drive competitive compute progress in a financially prudent way. They say the firm's projections for CapEx and R&D are markedly different than Tesla's, who's more established, and investors may not be ready, Brendo, to support a new compute CapEx cycle because they're already burning through a lot of cash.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you and I were just saying it's going to come down to how they can get these cheaper versions off the line.
Yeah.
I was just double checking on Oracle. I just saw it pop up in front of me. There was a senior note offering earlier this morning, but Oracle up 1% here, trying to make a move back above 167.50, guys.
Gobble, gobble on Oracle. Chew it up and spit it out there. But so in the chat here, first of all, if you want to be a member of our chat, hit that subscribe button. It's a subs only chat. So hit the subscribe, hit the like, join the community, test the waters. But Thomas Kondo, Rivian do 17 today, just wait on it, Lucid too. So I will gladly have a slice of pineapple pizza in the aftermarket show if Rivian gets to $17 today. I think that's incredibly unlikely to happen. But you know what? Stranger things, who knows? Maybe some kind of weird story comes out in the middle of the day that would cause it to get all the way up to 17. I think for today, it was a flat bottom break a couple of days ago and a continuation since then. Whether it's an upgrade or a downgrade, at this point, the trend is the trend. So underneath, like I note this morning, it's like, okay, well, you had support in here very, very briefly on that reversal day at about 11.55. That's the pre-market high. There's a gap to be filled to pre-market lows, and any break underneath 40, it's kind of already happened. So you're already underneath previous resistance levels. If it does break 11, even if it broke 11.75, I'd still probably look for a resistance at 12.25. I'm really just looking short. I don't really have any thoughts on Lucid because we haven't checked that out, and Rivian's the one with the story, and it's not going anywhere. But Tesla, Tesla's down 0.5 point today, and I feel as if, if we get some weakness in the market, everybody saw what Tesla did at 250. I think it was a bit of a fail. I got off the bid on Tesla when it looked really weak, and it did make the break. Should have just hit long. I tried to grab it on the higher low instead of just punching back through 250 when it reclaimed that level. So I think it's pretty obvious the 250 level here on Tesla. If we get another test at that, I'm going to look for the bounce off the 250 on Tesla. They just have the robotaxi coming up in October 10th, and they have their earnings at 16th. There's no specific catalyst for Tesla today. It just bounced off 250 yesterday. So if we see it again, I want to look for the same long on Tesla.
Okay, so yeah, Rivian. This is on the stick. You can go find it at Trader TV, Sean. And I said the same thing. We may have to play the break here into that low of 11.32 to make sure that we have shortable shares. 11.60. I wrote down, okay, it's free, good. I wrote down short 11.75. It's where my offer is. We can change it right now. The 200 periods come down. I still like 11.85. I'm in trouble if it breaks 12. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. I'll just sit here. I may put another offer in and around, 11.65, maybe 11.60 right now, just to sit there and see if we can get some more shares. But there's only 3 minutes left, only 2 minutes left right now. It looks like our biggest and baddest of them all, Nvidia
right there
today is right at 122. So this will most likely break at the open, and we're going to go long. And again, the VWAP is back here at 2150. So let's wait to see what happens. This is what the bounce locator looks like now. Blah, not much there. Grab is here as well if you want to grab some shares there. Alibaba, Snapchat, and whatever. This is probably one of those crazier runners today. BEKE, is it doing anything? No, down 4%, so not huge. But there's Alibaba, man. We already talked about that 94 bid. It already came in once. We are bidding 94. We're bidding Alibaba all the way down to 93.50. If that breaks, then we gone. That's all that we have right now. We have some Rivian bid offers, some Alibaba bids. Looking at Nvidia, which is going to break right now. The other name we have on here that we didn't get to is the NASDAQ. I think the NASDAQ breaking that top of yesterday is something that's going to be 72 that we wrote down there, 72.10 as a break long, and a short of 69.50, which we hit yesterday. So we're going to try to play sort of this late range there. I don't want to mess with it in the middle. Either at the top or at the bottom is when the NASDAQ gets activated. for me. So let's wait, man. We are very, very excited for it today. NVIDIA Stitch Fix, we didn't even really get to.
Down
Rivian,
30 points today,
I know,
Stitch
down
Fix.
30%.
It's a dumpsville on Stitch Fix. It's got a big $3 level from the aftermarket
Here we go.
that seems rather unlikely to get hit.
Sharif, get over there and ring that bell.
We got the bell in about 25 seconds.
We got someone.
Ramin is going to be bringing the bell.
Ramin
Brought
loves
to
the
you
camera, man. We
by
talked about
Firefly Neurosciences.
It's not ready yet, girl.
It's not even, the countdown's not even on, but she nailed it. She absolutely nailed that.
This one is unhinged right now.
Sign her up. The Toronto Blue Jays need to sign her up right now. At least she can throw a strike. Ramin, in 3, 2, and a run, ring the bell, brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences. I love it. Heck of a lot of fun there.
Market is now open. That was good. So,
it was a good shot.
Yeah, that was a great shot. That was like one of the better shots lately on something. So there it is right now. All right, sorry, we're on the TQQs. All right, Rivian starting to go right now. So, sorry, not Rivian, my bad. I want to look
NVIDIA's
at NVIDIA.
pulling
It's
back.
NVIDIA that was pulling back. So that's what we wanted to look at. NVIDIA right now pulls back into VWAP, basically into VWAP. I mean, it just touched it there. We are now long on Rivian. Why do I keep calling NVIDIA Rivian? We are long on NVIDIA right now. So let's see what happens. We got that bid. We're long at 15, so not a great
garbage
for us,
prices
right there, but we'll take it anyways. With the amount of shares that we have, we need to get some out, my guy. So here it is. It's a nice move. One more time here for Rivian. I just got into short Rivian. For NVIDIA as it's starting to go to the upside. Let's see if it can get that little ham action behind it right now. We're already out of a third of it, honestly. We talked about what we wanted to do with that kind of a trade. So now let's wait to see what happens. We are into NVIDIA long. It is your number one trade off the sticky note. Neil joins me on that trade. All right, and then look at this right now, too. It's Rivian, baby. We just took that trade. The sticky note will go 2 for 2 right here today so far, as there it is, man. There's 1160 short. We talked about that into 1148. Good trade there to start with on Rivian, and even a better trade, guys, on NVIDIA. It is your trade of the day right here. Sticky Note Nation, stand up. Good trade, Neil. Let's see how far this can go.
Yeah, I'm saying 125 seems pretty likely today. I'm back on, that was it wasn't the best fill at all. I got 18s on that, and I immediately tried to get back in on 122 because I want to dip buy this as well on NVIDIA. I just feel like we can continue to go higher here, and we're going to buy dips into it as well. Look, Tesla, just very quickly, okay, Rivian's going down and NVIDIA is going up. Tesla's flying right. Tesla just went $3 here to the upside off of the open, kind of out of nowhere. I was expecting a pullback into 250. I want to join this if we can catch any kind of a dip buy opportunity in Tesla. So Rivian is headed right back into the lows. I'm getting on the bid at the low of the day as it continues to flush. Tesla up, Rivian down. Haven't really looked at much of anything else, just these two for now. Intel hasn't broken that high either. Brendan?
CERO, big mover so far as a penny stock, but up huge. Securing $1.25 million, which is basically their market cap, in financing and requesting an FDA Type A meeting for their top-line drug. So big move for CERO.
You there, Brendo. I mean, we're doing it again here, guys. Look what we just did to Rivian. We just shorted 1160 right there. Out, it's 1130 right now. Damage being fully done now on RIVN to the downside. Again, we only have 3 ideas on here. It's NVIDIA, it's Rivian, it's BABA, the TQs, and Stitch Fix. So 2 ideas that we're in right now. Stitch Fix, we didn't really discuss. We can have a look at Stitch Fix in a minute, but it's Rivian to the races, man, to the downside. It is NVIDIA exploding to that upside as well. And it is party on, Wayne and Garth, one more time there today, as the S&P 500 now hits a record intraday high. So all your longs are good to go. We're still waiting up here. I do have an offer at 71, which got missed, but it's not going to get missed right now. Neil, this is a haymaker that we're throwing right now at this market. So again, guys, congratulations if you followed some of the notes there and what we talked about. It's a banger to start the day. It's Rivian, baby.
Yeah, Rivian. Well, it's Rivian's nasty to the downside.
Nasty. I keep confusing them. It's NVIDIA. That's crushing right now.
No, it's Nvidia that looks relatively. Look, it's
Wow.
ridiculously strong here. Just want to point out. I know we didn't mention too much about DraftKings and Flutter. Flutter, big, great report, buyback, all that good stuff. DraftKings is trying to take out the high. We mentioned liking a 40 dip buy in DraftKings. You can see what's happening here at the open. It is just consolidating off 41. It might just take out the top DraftKings. It's trying to break lower. There's a buyer in here at 41 even that's just holding the bid. So if it does hold this on the opening range, and of course, as I say that it goes down, I would have said if it holds that, we'd look for a top end break, but pulling back into 41. Want to make sure we got that one for you. Flutter dragging up DraftKings in a little bit of sympathy. So we still haven't broken 123 yet on Nvidia, but I feel that is just a yet type of thing. I'm still looking for the dip back into 122. I'm on the bid. I had 2 bids. I'm only needing one of them at this point. Let's see if we get any kind of an opportunity to dip back in and add more to this position. If we trend up, I think we should be good. Intel is now breaking 23. It's 23 1/3. That is the big resistance on this. And be careful. The thing about Rivian is we've seen this story before where it's a flush at the open and then a bounce. And the bounce yesterday gave you the chance to short right back up at that top. So if we do bounce, I'm still sitting here at the high to reload the trade on Rivian. It's already pulled back in from the 50s to 30. That's good enough. But yesterday it gave you the same trade again 15 minutes later if you waited for it.
All right, guys, honestly, let's just go, not that one. Let's just go Weehaw. This has been a huge opportunity one more time here today. There it goes, man. It's Nvidia, and it is honestly fantastic right now. Nvidia continues to be the name that we had hoped it would be, breaking higher and higher and higher right now, and trying to go, right? I don't feel like this wants to stop right now. I mean, there it goes, Nvidia right now, $1 in the money. We didn't even have a chance to tweet anything out yet because we're trying to watch our positions, of course. So right here, good so far. Let's wait to see if it wants to continue its upside move. It's an absolutely monster of a trade here for me on Nvidia. So it's just going, gone. We also have, we're 2 for 2 and we're huge right now. We're obviously yesterday we had a negative day. Today has been an absolute monster start. So we'll just keep on going with it and hope to continue this sort of upside push here on Nvidia, downside push on Rivian. It's 2 for 2, baby. You guys know what's good. And what's good right now is Brendan at the desk.
Highly shorted names moving around here this morning, guys. NVAX, one of those, had a note yesterday about Canadian approval for a vaccine ripped into the close. Here we go again. 6%. It's 20% on the short side. Upstart is the other one. 25% short on UPST, up 5% here this morning.
Baby.
Upstart's been flying around big time. Bigly the last couple of days. Okay, well, here comes DraftKings into that 40 level. So it was trying to hold on to 41. There's your dip. It just bounced off of, well, it's just attempting to bounce off of yesterday's highs in here right around 40.20. So I just grabbed 24s. Shout out to Mr. Bauer. I love that show. That's something you'll never be able to recreate again. It was like a one-shot deal. I wanted to get back into VWAP, which is 40.70 here. So Flutter probably pulling back as we speak, but DraftKings first bounce, yesterday's highs in front of 40. I grabbed 40.24. I do not need this making a fresh low. We're catching it on the tail end of this or on the back end of the move so far. You're at 123 on Nvidia.
Boom.
And if we're going to get to 125, it's just there hasn't been an obvious reload spot yet. So I feel like, okay, the way I'm looking at it, I'm going to pull back. Futures are at the overnight highs. NASDAQ at overnight highs. This is generally the spot where if it curls back in, I take it out on any kind of a trail. So I'm going to trail it to 123 even here on Nvidia. Futures at that overnight high as well as part of the story.
All right, guys. And part of the story is just bangers today. We're going to go 2 for 2 and just sit down and straight chill right now. There's Nvidia 122 long break. You see what the damage is being done on that one. Rivian short off the open. So we only have 2 trades right now. It's Rivian short off the open, which is huge. We only have 40% left on that one. We may just bid this 11.30, right? Let's bid some more. Let's get another piece out here at 11.30. And then Nvidia, like I said, man, I mean, I want to be able to hold this. This is sometimes what happens to me, right? We talk about this on the show a lot. And that is that it's like, it's not about chasing P&L or anything like that. It's just about sitting here and making sure that you do the right thing. We actually, we taking bigger share size for myself anyways, and taking those and just scalping them out as it goes and making sure that, again, no matter what your style is, you got to have the plan of action. As Neil was just saying, breaking back down through 123, it doesn't really matter the amount of shares that you use as long as you have the plan, because the more shares you use, the more money you make and the more money you lose on both sides of the trade. But when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And we were not feeling it today or yesterday. Well, we were, but the results weren't doing it. But we just come back right there with that same confidence that we have all the time and put that back on the barbecue and cook it up right now. So there it goes, man. It's a nice move up there for Nvidia. We took some outs here, 123. My best out is 123.15s. Now let's see if we can even get higher right now. We still have just over a third of this trade on board right now. And oh boy, down goes Rivian right now, 2 for 2. It's a big day over here. I hope you guys are enjoying everything else. We're lucky enough to have Brendan on the desk there, so he'll be dropping us some news if and when those things hit. We have numbers. ADR is not going to be here on the midday. We have new hosts coming this week. There goes Rivian, by the way, to the downside, man. We are just hot fire today. What a trade there on Rivian.
Yeah, 11 even on Rivian, I think, is the next stop. Last time it did this, it really didn't stop flushing. So Mara got to our our resistance level up in the 16 highs, just tagged 1670 quickly. This is the high on the 15-minute for Mara. Every time it's gotten up there, to me, it's just been a pop and fade. There's not many other trades on Mara here. So it just jumped into the short on the way back in. It just broke VWAP. I'm sitting at yesterday's close here at 1641 was the close. I just jumped out in front of it. So going to look for the low of the morning right here on Mara, 1625. So pop and fade on Mara is Bitcoin. I mean, it's not breaking 64,000 anytime soon. It doesn't seem. So quick. That was the idea we liked. It was, I don't know what else Coinbase is doing, but Mara had that distinct high at that 16.7 level. We're going to add that one in. I'm out of Nvidia, but I think we're going to get a chance to get back in. That overnight high on the NASDAQ, we just pulled back a little bit off of that and didn't quite get to VWAP in there on Nvidia, but it got pretty darn close. I'm going to sit back on the bid here, see if we can't grab a little something on the dip of Nvidia. As we said, Nvidia strong today. Obviously, you're still heading down on Rivian, but I want to see if we can buy this dip. Brendo?
Short side 20+% for this one as well. Capricorn Therapeutics, AAPR. This is a daily chart. 1, 2, 3 days in a row now, just straight to the upside here again. 20+ on the short side for CAPR.
Oh, man. Capricorn. Yeah, Capricorn, nice one. We got some more out there. We'll have a look at that in a minute. I just want to talk about some of the trades that I'm working on as we speak. We did get out of some more Nvidia, obviously, there. What goes up can obviously come down. We still have that third. We said we had slightly more than a third, so we take some out there at 122, 123 right there. Again, it looks like you are coming into a reload spot at 122.40 now for Rivian. I keep calling it Rivian. I'm just amazed with the Rivian trade as well, but there it is. We'll take a little bit down here again on the Nvidia reload. So I like the spot. Let's just see if it wants to get back up into those levels one more time. As pulling back a little bit, we'll offer some more upside here at 122.80s again and see if we're able to get some, but it was a reload spot down there for Nvidia. So now let's see where we go from here.
Yeah, bouncing off VWAP pretty nicely. Look, Rivian's trying to catch a bid. I think we can look at maybe VWAP here as well for Rivian. Look at, I haven't really been paying attention to it because it was a pop and fade, but look at it hold on to VWAP early. This might provide another opportunity at VWAP instead of just waiting around for the top. I don't even know why I'm still offering up there at 1160. We didn't get that fill at the open. We got some fills going up there, but I didn't get that fill at 1160. Nvidia bouncing off VWAP, trying to get back into that high. So I've reloaded back into it very quickly. I'll show you Mara. Mara got to the pre-market low. So we're going to ring the register on that one. Essentially just goes right into resistance the last few weeks, or the last few, it was a couple of weeks. Pulls back right into the low. So pop and fade, let it make the high, short it back down underneath patiently, and then get out at the bottom. So still pulling back in is Mara. Wow, Tesla just went red.
Uh-oh. Well, look at the market.
So, yeah, 250. All right, well, let's not give up on 250 Tesla just yet. Tesla just dropped. It's dropped like $3 with the market pulling back in here. So I think we have an opportunity. Missed 250 yesterday. I missed 250 yesterday. If it gets there again, I don't want to miss that chance if it gets there.
The professor dropping some lines over here, letting us know about what levels are in play. So I appreciate him all the time. What are we talking about today? That's okay. Give me in a second. This man's killing his egg, his protein, the daily protein there. You don't get a body like that eating chips. Okay, there it is, 123 upside right now. Oh boy, we did it again. It's another chicken dinner winner on the reload there for Nvidia as we continue to climb higher. We're going to go 2 for 2 today and a big day, honestly, here again. We talked about it was a big day on the other side yesterday on the other way around, big day to the red side. But today we come back and start blasting higher right now. And we do not take any prisoners today, man. We hit Nvidia, we hit it hard, and it just continues to climb upside right there. That's what we got to do, right? We talk about it. I mean, we literally have the promo where it says, you're trading prop, you might as well go for it. I mean, it's trading other people's money. We talk about that, get that leverage, get going, hit it with prop trading. We talk about real trading here as well. So it's like, that's what we're here for, right, is to make some cash, and that's what we're doing right now on Nvidia. Nice play back up there to the upside. You got to take advantage of these opportunities, and oh boy, did we ever do that here today. So congratulations to all of you who just simply followed some of the notes that we put out, right? I mean, we talked about Rivian. I talked about this exact price, 1160, hits early. Pretty lucky that it hit, right? I mean, but you got to be sitting there, so I don't know if it's luck or not, but there it is. Nice pullback down. We only have 20% left. We'll still continue to look for some more more opportunities, basically. We wrote down Alibaba at 94. Okay, that came in, but we were literally at 94, so we missed that bid. I'm at 94.02, so we'll have to wait for that one to come in. The other name on our list, we're going to look at Stitch Fix and the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ just going up and down and just waiting to do something. I'm waiting for this thing to go meme crazy, and then we can really get going here. But it's another huge day, Neil, just off 2 trades.
Yeah, it hasn't been a bad one yet, I don't think, at least. Look, I'm out at DraftKings. It goes right into VWAP. It pulls back into 40. It is what it is, man. Like, it pulls right back into yesterday's high. There it is. Does not make a low. We get it back through 24. It's 5 cents risk to the local bottom, and it goes right into 40.60. So that's looking clean to the upside. Nvidia, as you said, is already back at 123. And then look, Rivian down here, it's trying to bounce. So there is some buying on Rivian. I don't know if VWAP is going to be as good as I think, just how much this has gone to the downside recently. So I want to let it make a move upside. Show me where the reentry is going to be. If it's a lower high, 1140 is valid, 1150 is obvious, but let's just give it some room. Tesla is stalling at 53, so I don't think we're going to get that 250 trade that we're interested in. I said I'm sitting out Meta until 1 o'clock. Well, Meta doesn't care. You know, Meta is absolutely flying. Nvidia. Probably going to break 570 any second now, and then that all-time high is at 574. Nvidia now back into the dollar up, and everyone's going to trade their own style, right? Like, to me, I like out and then back in, so we're able to catch it a couple of times in here, but I'm going to go the same way. If we have the same trend, like you got higher highs and higher lows, if that reverses, I'm going to jump out and then jump right back on the dip buy with Nvidia, which continues to climb higher and higher.
Oh, yeah, man, let's go. Let's shut it out right now. We've got Max, we've got myself, we've got Wayne, Neil's here as well. Not sure what's going on with Yannick, but let's go hit it up right now. Max driving that Lambo right now. He'll be on that podium. Nice to join him on there today as well. There it goes, man. We got to show love to everybody, right, here on the show. That's what we do, man. We're not the only ones hitting notes here. So congratulations to everybody there that's got this one. It's a big day alert. You know, I'll say on The Office all the time, like, you know, we're negative, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's Nvidia. Nvidia leading the way today for The Office. It's not even close. So there goes. I mean, look where Nvidia is doing right now. We smoked this trade. We hit this trade with 10x the shares, baby. It was a good move there on Nvidia. It's a huge move back up there to the upside. And then we're going. So yeah, we're in much better moods than we were yesterday at this time as we were fighting Amazon to the downside. But as you guys know, just keep it in the pocket. Do you. That's the best thing. Do not try to, mimic anybody else. Just try to trade what's comfortable with you. Use share size that's comfortable with you. Use risk management that's comfortable for you. But definitely make sure you check us out. Watchlist.trader. This is not the right website. Watchlist.beehive. I need to have that thing. David, please send me that when you get a second right now, and I'll be able to hit the watch list thing. Make sure you subscribe to it, man. We talked about it on there. There isn't this exact level. You got to get that off the sticky note. But we talked about, we always say, Yeah, I always say link in the description. Link is also, guys, in the description right now, so you can catch that. Make sure you do catch our watch list every single day completely for free. It is the best resource on the web, period. But there it goes right now. Neil, it's NVIDIA, baby, and it is an absolute monster of a trade for the floor and for your boy. It's NVIDIA. Good trade over there as well, Neil. I know you've been killing some other names too, so good job here. It's Rivian, it's NVIDIA, and it's you were on DJT, I think.
DJT, no, it was DraftKings. DraftKings went to the upside. Actually, DraftKings, we might have gotten out early, but same plan as before. So it made the same higher high, the same higher low. I just trailed out of it again. I'm right back on the bid. I'm buying VWAP till it stops working on this stock. If it makes a higher low off the opening range break, I don't mind 123. It's just get back in wherever it wants to let me. Don't really care where that's going to be. I just want to be there. When it does, okay, Intel's going to break. All right. Intel, we mentioned this one yesterday.
This is a huge trade.
Here is a top 23.33. It's this high, 23.30. And it's about to take out the top here on Intel. So we said we'd have this break whenever it happened this week. And it looks like it's going to be incoming soon on Intel. Up 1.5 points. Not doing too bad itself. Brendo?
Flying around here this morning, guys. FRGT just popping up in front of me now, but this one, Motorsport Games to the upside. This is a video game developer, just took out yesterday's high. They had some news after the close yesterday involving one of their top games that they make, but just took out 160 there. 1 million share float on this.
Good job, man. Good trading back there, Max, man. I was just like, wow. Like, we just got some out at 66 right there now. So, like, if I'm over the moon with this trade, I really hope you guys are as well. We get excited around here pretty easily, and that's because, you know, what I do is I really love what I do. And when it works out, it's, you know, it's like if you could be a baseball player and it's like the minute, you know, Shohei Ohtani or someone like that gets traded to the Dodgers and can finally make the playoffs, like, that's what I feel like every single day, to be able to sit here, be able to show you what time, what hard work, and what all of that turns out to be, and just to show that they're like just sitting here, trying to be a normal guy, trying to do normal things, but then show, you know, what is possible. And there it is right there. It's Rivian. We're 2 for 2 today. Very, very simple trades, man. It's Rivian posted up here, which has just made traders months. So that's really great. We're really happy to see that. 123.50 right back there to the upside, and then given the Rivian short as well. 2 for 2 clean plays. I just want to make sure that everybody here, I have this button, that's for sure. Hit the like and the subscribe right there. This is real old. You got to iron that shirt there, my guy. But there it is, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Look what Rivian's doing. I mean, this is 11.60. It's now 50 cents in the money. This is 5% right there just on this trade. We only have 20% left, though. And we just got another piece out upside there, 123.60 for NVIDIA. I'm going to take out one more piece right now, as it might be pulling back. I doubt it, but we're going to take another piece out. And this is what happens. You take, you know, for me, this is why I take bigger shares, so I can start to leg them out. I always take things out real quick. We were out of a third with first 50 cents. Now that it's climbing upside, we're going to see if we could take more advantage of NVIDIA. There it is. We just got out of another piece. So just so you guys are aware, we're back into about 20% left of our original position. Actually, it's part of the reload position right now. So we're completely out of that, and we are over to the desk with Brendan.
Benzinga Pro, guys, is the official new sponsor of Trader TV Live. If you are tired of being late to the trade, always playing catch up in the market, missing out on big moves because you're too slow to the news, Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial. Conveniently, you can also scan that QR code bottom right corner right now.
Very conveniently, you can scan that QR code. So Intel did break out the high. No VWAP dip on NVIDIA on that last move. It actually held on to 123. Right, might need to cancel that order off of VWAP. Let's just see where, look, you let it go where it wants to go. It doesn't matter. VWAP's a line on a chart, right? If it dips and you want to get back in, it's wherever the heck Nvidia decides it wants to settle down. Like, I don't necessarily care about VWAP. It could end up being this 123 that we just wicked off of again here on Nvidia. Bit of a bottoming tail candle on Rivian. That's not terribly concerning yet. I did want to go back over to DraftKings, not to ignore that stock. Whoops, DKNG is no Z at the end. Oh, that was kind of weird.
Did they go down to the pink sheets already? No.
No.
Okay.
Could you imagine? No.
No, not that stock.
Obviously, that's not
that's not imagining. I'm trying to buy some dips.
No, it's still looking pretty good, but so higher low there. I expected, VWAP, a bit of a downward pull after the Flutter news dragged it upside. It bounced off 40. There's the higher low. If it can hold on to VWAP, I think a leg up into the highs of the day could still be the case. I don't want to get away from that. And then Mara bounced off the lows, now putting in a lower high on Mara. As long as we're not breaking 64,000, I still feel like this can be a reload on a short, maybe stair-step it down. Want to be patient here. The market's strong enough that we might want to wait for the actual high of the day one more time. So the plan of action is to look for the reload on Nvidia again. It might be 123. I don't think we're going to. It's not feeling like we're going to get VWAP because we're about to take out the high of the day. There's the only chip name I'm looking at, and then Intel. I'm in Intel. Intel broke that top. I don't know what's going on with the position board there. No, but Intel broke out that 223. Or sorry, $22.30, $223. It's not going to be that price. But Intel broke out that high. I want to give it back to the prior high. That's yesterday's levels. But yeah, I'm in that one and still in Rivian. But those are only two positions I have. I'm now out of Nvidia. We'll refresh the position board in a sec.
Yeah, they're doing it right now. All right, guys. And not any new news. We'll just sit here and watch. Oh, you know what we want to do? We want to talk a little bit about iBit earlier on. So we want to look to see if, wow, okay, so I actually does hold that 36 level. You guys remember before in the pre-market, we were talking about coming back into here and looking at 36 to 36.40. So the short early would have been fine, but it didn't get to 36.40. It got to basically where we opened 36.30s, come right back into 36 and bounce. So good trading there for iBit if you had that short early, but again, bounces off that exact level. One more time. Okay, now we're at $1.70 right now in the money on Nvidia as it gets right back there up to today's high. This is why, guys, take advantage on that early dip, which we obviously did there. We were reloaded right there, and give yourself an opportunity to get that chicken dinner winner. And there it goes, man. Again, a big congratulations to some of the real ones in the back. But here it goes, man. It's a nice move again, up to 124 and change. Wow, there goes Nvidia. And boy, oh boy, what a difference a day makes, as they say. Wow, I mean, it is. See, this is the thing. We can see this thing going meme crazy. Like, why am I even bothering to get out? Oh, yeah, because we can. Let's get some more out at 88. I mean, we might as well start ringing some of this register. We've already rang the register. Wish we hadn't, but congratulations to anybody who has a wheelbarrow today, because that wheelbarrow is going to be hard to contain with all that stuff flying out of there. So let's just hopefully continue this move to the upside. There it goes again, man. It's Nvidia. It's fantastic. We first tweeted it out at 8 o'clock that this trade was coming. 122 long break. Glad to still be in it with everybody there. And it's just a monster, man. It's now $2 in the money off that first trade. Nice little VWAP retracement back in as well. And Rivian, we'll just kind of sit on this. We'll wait for some more, guys. What's up, Jay Lee? I mean, I don't hate you for trying to go the other way right now. We have 12% left of this trade. And just that 12% left is like, again, a nice amount of shares for me to watch this name go to the upside. So we're rocking right now, man. We're really happy with today's trade.
Yeah, and right back into the highs. We love it. Let's go to the upside here. You said Shohei Ohtani, so let's do baseball season's ending. I've got 1 week till we can hit that. Then we got to do some football graphics in there. But the only new position for me, sorry about the position board, guys. We're working on it. Of course, baseball and real teams. Other teams are still going, like myself. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm a diehard Jays fan. They stink this year. But the Intel did break that high. I am in the long. It just curled in at 50. There's, I don't know, a couple 100,000 shares on the offer at 23.50. It's not a lot, but it's enough that it made a little bit of a curl there. So I am long at 31s. I just took a couple of thirds out on Intel up at that high. So we'll see how far it can continue to go. Nvidia did not give a dip into VWAP this last time, so I'm adjusting it on the way up here. it's now got, I'd say it's got a discernible new trend that's forming, so I can forget about like all this nonsense down here. After it broke the high, it's trying to work on a new trend to the upside for a dip buy. I do want to get back into the dip. Right now, we're just riding it along with Intel, kind of a sympathy move. And I know some people have asked about like Micron or other chip names out there. I haven't looked. Micron is green today. They report after the bell. It's up a point. It might break out the high. It's trying to break out the high in here. I just feel like it's following the leaders. And I want to stay away from Micron in a general sense going in earnings. There's plenty of other names that you can look at here today. I mean, AMD has broken out a double top along with Nvidia. I feel like you don't have to worry about the nonsense if you stick to the names that aren't reporting. So there's plenty to look at in the space. As we go to the desk, we're happening now.
Just awaiting some new home sales data coming out here at 10 o'clock as well for August. Not typically a number that moves the market, but just a heads up, we are going to get a little bit of a data point here coming through. But overall market, yeah, nicely back to the upside here. A lot of analysts this morning, a lot of notes suggesting that that might have not been the case. Ahead of Micron earnings to come after the close. MetaConnect coming up at 1 o'clock this afternoon, as we mentioned. That August number, new home sales, 716,000. Versus about the same, 700,000 expected there. New home sales on a month-over-month number down 4.7%. They're looking for a decline of more than 5% on that number. So a little bit better than expected there. As I mentioned, yeah, 0.35 now for the NASDAQ back to the upside. Took out that high from yesterday, all-time high territory for the S&P as well. Meta, now 1%. Again, 1 p.m. this afternoon. Make sure if you're in Meta, you might want to just, tread cautiously with Zuck said to take the stage. 570 coming into play right now. Bit of a pullback for Meta. We talked about these in the pre-market if you were with us. Some of the Chinese ADRs back higher now in a pretty good way as well. JD.com just had a huge volume spike there through 33 coming back in right now. But nice look for JD.com. I mentioned this one earlier. CAPR off the highs, but what a couple of days this thing's had. 27% short side on CAPR, guys.
We're just stone cold chilling right now, man. I mean, I'm going to put an offer. I put an offer at 124.15 for Nvidia. It did pull back into 124 right there. That's giving me a little bit of a pause for concern, but honestly, like 99 problems right now. Trading, definitely not one of these ones. We're going to look for some more opportunities, but we're going to get a piece out here. Give it to us, give it to us, give it to us. Oh, it did not. Oh, it did. We got those 15s right there. So spin it again right there. All right, now we are over $2 in the money from our level, and we are pretty happy watching out for this. So there it goes now. Big time new highs right now. The net is rocking. Congratulations on this trade, but let's go find some more. What about Amazon here right now? AMZN, not in Brazil, of course. In the NASDAQ, so we'll find
it might be dual listed.
193, maybe it should be. Yeah, Brazilian Bancor Amazon. All right, so we'll find out right now. Amazon, there's the move down. So again, we stayed away. This is how you this is what you have to do. Yesterday we hit Amazon the wrong way. We thought it was a long. Today we kind of stay away from it. Nice pullback in for Amazon right now. Not doing too much, but that 192.50. A lot of people talking about Meta obviously today as we have that Meta Connect event going through. Meta through the roof again. Oops, why didn't my chart change? Meta through the roof again, man, up another 1%. I mean, I don't know if anything's going to beat Nvidia, just about how clean it was, but that was a pretty clean break right there as well at 566. So if you were watching that sort of top break, again, what was paused me for concern a little bit on Meta was the fact that we didn't have any pre-market volume. So no pre-market volume was kind of like that, right? But there's the 566 break. Huge move to the upside off of that, up to 571 new all-time highs. So yeah, sure. We're watching out for this one. Trading is the name of this game, but Neil's got another one over there.
Yeah, this incredible move to the upside in the market brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience, revolutionizing brain health. Our groundbreaking brain networks analytic technology is transforming care for patients with depression, dementia, anxiety, concussions, and ADHD. With 15 years of research and a wealth of brainwave data, we're set to illuminate the future of diagnostics and treatment. Pharmaceutical companies and medical practitioners, get ready. FDA 510 cleared BNA technology is here to supercharge your clinical trials and enhanced patient care. Join us at Firefly Neuroscience, traded on NASDAQ as AIFF, and be part of the next big leap in neurosciences. Ignite hope, one brain at a time. And ignite hope in the bull market because the market is, haven't used that, it's only up 0.2%. Okay, so like that's only up 2%, but Nvidia's up 3.
Nvidia's a monster.
Rivian's down, Rivian sucks. Intel is up 4. So just a quick little update. Intel did eventually break that 23.5. I took some out on the other side of it. It looked like there was someone trying to sell on that initial breakout, and then immediately just flew right through. So there isn't a red candle on this name, but there's nothing on the chart here until it gets to $30 on Intel. That's sort of the thing. So I'm just going to play this one by ear. If it gets to 24, I'm kind of thinking even dollar levels are the way to go here on Intel. Yeah, the position board's finally updated. As far as Rivian goes, it got to VWAP, and it's starting a bit of a curl here. I completely forgot about the Chinese ADRs, to be honest with you. But Pinduo didn't really go that far anyways. So I said Pinduo at 115 would be a fade. You know, it's not there. So yeah, they're going up. I just heard, oh, Chinese names are going back to the upside. No, we're still pretty far away from any level that I would have shorted. Tesla is really setting up for a bit of a double top break. Just a bit of a caution. I'm looking up my Tesla chart. This looks like a top break. However, zoom it out. Yesterday's high is right above. So I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole in terms of a breakout. I think you wait for 257 if Tesla wants to join the party. I thought we'd go 250 dip hunting. That's clearly not going to be the case here. I want to get into a trend, but I want to trade a little bit cautiously with Tesla. So 125 is going to come in on Nvidia. I think that's a good look. I tried to get in a third time and was unable to. Let me just cancel that off VWAP. I don't think we're getting it. As I said, we have a new trend line, which is even steeper than the one before. Still want to buy dips, but it's if it gets to 125 first, I'm not shorting it, but I might look for something. If I can find something weak in the chip space, probably not. And then I would look for a fade if Nvidia does want to curl at 125.
All right, look, in sticking with protocol right here, let's spin this right now and just a big shout out to the ones who crushed this one here today. Let's go shout out to Max, shout out to Wayne in the back, shout out to Yannick, Neil hit this trade. Everybody that was on this trade, big time shout out to you there for Nvidia because it was setting up, you guys took it, and again, congratulations. That's the whole point. So I just want to say that's why we're here, is to do these kind of trades for you, to show you what's possible. There goes Nvidia again. And it's really good when it's kind of like being part of the team, right? As we say, where it's nice when everybody can make money, and especially when a lot of us are kind of going the same way, and it continues to go, because sometimes it's like, oh my God, like you get that FOMO, you punch in too late, and then it reverses on you. You're like, oh man, why did I sort of join that trend so late? But today on Nvidia, no matter where you joined it, you were huge. And so that's another one there, including that last little reload. I'm going to wait to get something out at 125, but I'm not stubborn too much here. We only have, so now we have just under 10% left, so we don't have too much left. But at the same time, every little bit counts, and we still have a decent piece on. So as far as share size is concerned, so we don't want to necessarily get out of it all, but I want to make sure that we do capture some more profit here if it does come near side 125. So I'm offering that 124.80 right now, not too far away. If we lose this 124 right there, I could consider getting a piece out backside, but for right now, let's just keep on watching this trade and see where we go from here. The only other trade we have on is Rivian. All right, so the other trade there, but Rivian's P&L wise, I mean, Rivian's still real small. It's going to be like the number 3 name or so, number 2 name actually right now. You have a good trade on Intel, so we'll add the Rivian now. So he's out of Intel. Okay, so right now, just want to say good trades happening. And then also on the sticky note, completely ignored today by me because I wasn't really feeling Alibaba down there. We sort of did talk about some of the levels that Alibaba had. But right here on the sticky note, we wrote down Alibaba 94 long. And it's just, it came close, man. It came to 94.11s. Unfortunately, we're at 94.02. So that's not going to do anybody any good because we missed that long. But guess what? It's another banger idea right there off the sticky note 94. I hope you guys had that. We don't. But that was it right there. It came back in 3 times, basically. And unfortunately, we were too busy looking, and not unfortunately, very fortunate that we were busy looking at NVIDIA. But at the same time, that was another missed opportunity. We could have had that one. So, all right, that's what we're doing right now. Just really happy, obviously, with the trading today. And it's really nice to battle back. You know, you have that loss yesterday, but then able to sort of turn that frown upside down and come right back and do this. So, yeah, good day so far. Let's just keep it going. It's already 10:10. I'm going to go get a coffee in a second.
Yeah, get that refill. I mean, we're going to try to reload in these markets. We're past 10 o'clock, so the opening range has been put in. See nice 93 in the chat. Why do you sell Intel? You got to be talking about me because I was the only one trading it, obviously. So quickly going to show you. If you watch this show every single day, you'll know that when we get a breakout, I've been using trend lines for reversion trades for a while. The other way to look at a reversion trade as well, if you're, instead of looking for a place to go short like we were yesterday on, it was Unity in the afternoon, then you can be looking for them for a place to get out of a trade. So break of the high, it was 23.30. You got to find that on the 15-minute chart, not here on the 3-minute. When it broke the high, it dipped into this bottom. You start to connect the dots, right? So each 3-minute candle connects the dots in there. It crosses the trend line. I get out. I'm looking to trail at that point. Like every 50 cents or 25 cents every quarter, at 50, if it broke, I would have definitely taken some out there. When it got to 75, I'm looking for a place to exit that move. And when it breaks the trend line, I'm not punching short there because I think it's a strong stock today. But I am getting out and then looking for a dip buy. And everyone has to trade their own way. I always say, if you were flat, what would you do? If I wasn't in a trade and was thinking fade on Intel or reversion on Intel, I would short it. That means at least I would get out of a long. Speaking of the shorts, Rivian. Okay, so Rivian's not doing a heck of a lot anymore. Kind of going sideways in here at VWAP. I don't need this breaking back out above 40. I think it would retest the highs if it did. There's a bit of a rounded bottom here on Rivian. And keep in mind how low this thing is. If it decides to catch a bit of a bid, you don't want it screaming back to the upside. It doesn't have a huge short float, but it's still, anything this depressed is a squeezable name in my opinion. Not really watching much of anything else except for now Intel, Rivian, or Nvidia. We want to buy anywhere near VWAP. Tesla doesn't seem like we're going to get 250 at this point. It's double tapped the 256 half, 257 is yesterday's high. Maybe we can find pre-market low support. I'd rather it hold on to VWAP. I'd rather join a trend in Tesla if it's making higher lows than making lower lows. So if it can set that kind of a pattern up, maybe we join on Tesla here, but kind of flat with the market at the highs.
Yeah, okay. I mean, NVIDIA is going higher. I just put a stop in to get out at 124 break, but that doesn't look like that wants to happen. We are just going to get out of half of what we had left, leaving us with about 7% of our position. But yeah, we'll stay on NVIDIA. New trade possible here. Little sketch, but I mean, what about if Amazon takes this 193.20 right now? Market is huge, right? I remember when the market was down today, I said feeling bullish, which is why, I mean, so we'll just say congratulations to anybody that was with me on that one. Wait a second. Oh, no. I forgot to look at the TQQs, which is something else that we had. Oh, my. Again, guys, it's Sticky Note Nation. Stand up one more time if you have this trade. We do not. And that was just ridiculous. Sean, put in the stop orders, my guy, and then you don't have to worry about all this nonsense. But look what we wrote down here. 72 on the TQQ. 72 break. Long break there on the TQQs. And there it is right there. Does not go against you. 30 cents in the money. Damn. We should have had that one. Frustrating, but that's okay. There goes the NASDAQ. Huge move up. We had that break as well. So there it is right there. That was
another one.
Hopefully you had that, but oh man, that's too bad. Nice break higher there on the NASDAQ. Again, putting the sticky note now at a 3 for 3 because I'm not going to count that bob along because we were sitting there bidding and we missed the bid. This actual break on the NASDAQ, you could have with unlimited amounts of shares. We just weren't looking there. 72, it does not go against you either. So good little break there. We'll wait now as the move might be a little extended. I don't know here on the futures, but Amazon was the one for me if we can break a little bit higher. Oh, it's starting to go right now. So just as we talk about it, are you kidding me, Amazon? All right, it's trying to break 193. I was looking at like this 193.10 area. There goes Amazon just as we talk about it. Are you kidding me? Nice move to the upside there. for AMZN. Let's just try it. We'll punch, there we go. We punched in a little bit at 16s. You saw some little bit of liquidity there. So now we are long Amazon into this trade. We missed it. I wanted that break right there, so we kind of got it. We should be long at 10s. Instead, we're long here at 16. It's Amazon. It's another one. Let's see if we can go.
Yeah, Amazon breaking out. Meta's just made a fresh high. So, yeah, they're really running it into this event. I kind of feel like this could be, I feel like it's going to be a trap on Meta specifically. The rest of the market, I'm kind of okay with. I'm a little skeptical about that one continuing. It's a long way to 1 o'clock, though, so you have plenty of time. There has not been a big dip at all. And early on in NVIDIA was giving you those dips. Now you're not really getting it. You're getting more resistance at this 124.5 than we've seen in a while. But if it does make a dip here, I think this would be the next available opportunity. As I said, I'm not going to just say VWAP or something like that. I am willing to pick it up anywhere it does a reversal candle. Forget about VWAP. It was great early, but we didn't get it because it never dipped into it the second time. So got to be a little bit more on the ball to try to catch the actual level and not just where the line on the chart is. Let's go to Brendo at the desk.
Just kind of hanging out today. Positive on the day, as you guys were mentioning, 0.3. But Bloomberg reporting at least 4 analysts have now boosted their estimates for Q3 delivery numbers, specifically going to China. So coming out of China again, Q3 delivery numbers expected to be better than initially forecast for Tesla.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan, for that one. We'll have to look at Tesla again because it's possibly ripping up. And we just put on Amazon, man, and we just took out 30 cents right there, getting 48 right there on Amazon, like as if it's butter, man, as if it's easy day. We talk about this all the time. Same thing as gambling, things like that. When you're seeing the board, we talk about that, man. You're picking those winners, seeing them right there, Amazon, good trade. We're out of 40% already as we just trying to play a break there. It's still weaker than the market. So if the market fades out here on Amazon, then it's not necessarily a name we want to be in because of the weakness in the name. So we'll just sit there, watch our money through Nvidia going back up there to the upside. Someone in the chat said that they took the TQQ trade based on what we had mentioned there. So we'll just say, where's my props button? We'll say props to you there in the chat. I don't know if it was Jay Lee or who it was there, but you tagged me on that. So I want to thank you for that. It really means a lot that you guys are trusting in some of these plays and looking at them yourself and putting your money to work. So, good trade on that one if you have it. Wish we did with you there, bud. But today, like I said, month makers today all over the place. And it starts and stops basically with NVIDIA there today. Although, I think maybe we might have been on another stock as well. Yeah, Tesla was a big winner as well. So Tesla, NVIDIA, the two monster wins here today, and it's continuing for NVIDIA, right? I'm waiting for a break of this 50, so it's just trying to go upside. We're at 124.80. See if we can get out, and it's a good thing we didn't go for a coffee run because we just put some more money in the bank there with Amazon. Looking to reload this down here in the teens if we're able to, and then dropping it out if we break back down through 193. But Amazon, what dreams are made of today, NVIDIA and Amazon. And I mean, it's obviously, we'll go 3 for 3. I mean, it's been a big day, but at the end of the day, Rivian right now trying to find its base. Hopefully we can break a little bit lower. We wanted to pick on this name. We saw the downgrade. We went for it, and it was pretty good. So yeah, so far so good here. I think maybe now I'll go get a coffee, but I think Randy might be coming with one.
Ooh, Randy reload. I'm actually getting hungry already, but the market is hungry for the highs. Yeah. So look, I showed you my plan of action to get out on the trend of Intel. Intel just tagged $24. So it just continues to go higher and higher. It's been a moonshot pretty much for the market. But you're only up 0.5%. Like, you got to look at the right name. Like, this is up 5 points. Nvidia's up 3 points. AMD right here is up 1.5. So you have a bit of a distinction in what you're looking at. I was trying to find relative weakness. I said I would look for it. SMCI was weak, now bouncing off the open. I just didn't see anything. There wasn't a single chip name when we got to that high and we started reverting off 125, at least for now on NVIDIA, that even set up for shorts. I'm just not going to short anything. You don't have to. It is what it is. I do want to try to look for a spot in case there's a pullback on Intel. This is a big enough move that we've got to look for the next opportunity here. Look, the 50 period is broken on the daily. You've broken out the bottoming of the channel. If it just starts going up, obviously the breakout price is good at 23.30, but the odds of getting that again is pretty low. So I got to look for like the 23.5 type level as well for Intel. So this one continues to go higher. I know some people are going to diamond hands it. Congratulations. You always have to sort of do you. Like what works for you works for you. Like I'm not going to complain on a day like today. There is still, look, DJT. I said I wouldn't trade DJT today and just sort of look for any kind of pop and fade. We gave one level this morning. It was 1440. If anyone was listening to it, you might have been able to grab a bit of a win in here. It got right into key resistance and support. I look for confluence if it's out in the ether, like out in the middle of nowhere, and that's essentially what you had. But this wick, unless you were just Johnny on the spot, this is the one stock I'm trading, I doubt you're going to get that short trade. So it was a good level. I just don't see if you're focused on DJT. If you're not focused on DJT, you could have had that, and it's still upward trending. When this happens and it resumes trend up, I would never want to short it the second time at that same price. Not me, because it's still trending upside. Probably already got some people short in there. So if it continues to break, I easily think it can rinse a few people. So I'm not shorting that level the second time. I think you had to have it the first. As we're going to Brendan with a small cap recap. I wonder what Octo's doing.
Yeah, lots of little ones flying around this morning, guys. As I mentioned, the low float side of things coming into play. Some short names or short percent names coming into play as well. This one just popping up in front of me. A few people mentioning this as well. TNON, huge move up to 570. I checked a couple of sources here. I mean, Trade Ideas, shout out to them. 442,000 shares on the free float of TNON. Not much in the way of any kind of significant headline for that one, but a lot of low float runners so far today. This one had news after the close yesterday, 41% here for Motorsport Gaming, which is a video game maker. They had an update for their most popular game, I assume anyways. After the close yesterday, new version coming out. Positive reaction from the market to that. 150. If you zoom out to a daily chart, 150 right in the middle there, significant level for MSGM. This one, Octo, OCTO, 65% here. Financial update across the board said this quarter specifically going to be better than expected, and nice update for their forecast going forward as well for OCTO.
Yeah, Octo, big volume mover in the morning, and obviously today is the kind of day. There's days where it's a meme day. There's days where it's a low float runner or small cap kind of day. I feel like today was more of a kind of look at the chip names. And you led with it. I mean, Nvidia yesterday gave you the hint, and first of all, everybody make sure you, if you're not getting the watch list, make sure you get the watch list, because today was an interesting one where I was kind of filling in for Adara doing it, and MetaConnect was an obvious story, I think, and it would have been really easy to lead, hey, let's just put that at the top of the watch list. But I kind of just BS'd the chips and said semiconductors at the top of the watch list because of what happened in Nvidia yesterday. Like when this happens, you're looking at the chips the next day. And look, Meta's done a fantastic move. I'm not taking anything away from it. Meta's absolutely blowing it out. But this trend is just continuing to go up, and it's dragging it's like a rising tides to the upside pretty much everywhere. So I'm not getting in at any of these highs. I'm not looking to regain the trend at any of these highs. I'm waiting for pullbacks. I don't see anything that I want to short at this moment, although Rivian's making a double bottom, so that's got my attention a bit here. Look, Rivian, double bottom. I don't know, I'm probably just going to take this out and go for the VWAP trade on Rivian. If it cannot hold this low, if it does hold this low, I should say, if it cannot hold underneath this low because we're short, then I want to look to get out of this one, maybe at the 22 level. I feel like the early morning move might be done, and we got to look for the secondary play here on our IVN. Tesla's still not doing much of anything. Pinduoduo, no chance it's going to get high enough. Yeah, this sucker ain't strong enough to get to 115 for a fade, so I'm probably not trading that. I might go back over to Mara, but remember the level on Mara? We're right back at the same level, but it's higher lows into it. I don't have a reason to reload this trade. It's now trending up, going into that resistance, so the first short worked. No need to just stand in front of a moving freight train when this market is going higher. Let it either fail to break or confirm a confirm the move back into the downside before we get into this. We shorted on the back end, nice and patient, let it make the high, get it on the back end. I think that's the way to go.
It's going to sound like a broken record, but I don't know what else to say. All right, so Amazon, we just reloaded that. Wow. I went and got a nice little refill there. Come back. I mean, I don't know who's buying, but we aren't. We're holding. There goes Nvidia. Neil talked about, going station to station and things like that. That's, but when this stock doesn't dip, I mean, we had one dip buy right into there. So lucky to grab that. Not lucky. It's not lucky. Just fortunate, same thing, to grab that. And it's fortunate to be looking at it. Nvidia's 125 right now. We're long 122s. And it's an ab. I mean, let me just check to see right now. Right. So we saw Max still in this. I mean, there's some traders behind us still in this name. This is carrying the day. It's Nvidia, and it's fantastic. I just ran into Yannick in the back as well, congratulated him on his big trade as well for Nvidia. And it's just like, this is what it's about, right? This is the Super Bowl today for this office. It's a great opportunity to come in here, trade, hit these names. And I mean, look at this. And again, it's believing in your trades, it's taking the shares, putting up a number, and dealing with it. Look what Amazon's doing as well. And again, remember we talked about in the wild, these guys talk about Adara and Sharif. We're putting trades on in the wild. We talked about obviously not having the opportunity to trade every single name on our watch list today, although the TQQs was pretty sweet there. Alibaba was pretty sweet, but we found Amazon. And it was just, honestly, it was breaking this little shelf. I don't love the trade. It wasn't, I mean, it was great. The reload was great. The fact that we sat there and took it. And again, look where we're long here, 193.12. We said our out was a break of 193, so 12 cents worth of risk. Now it's pulling back, but we just got out at 38s up there. So well worth it as a risk to reward ratio. I'm gonna take another piece out right here at 20s. There it is. We'll take another piece now and get that out. But again, Amazon really working out for us. Let's not throw back what we made. If it breaks lower, we're going to get out. And it looks like the market right now is trying to retrace itself just a little bit. So we'll put one more offer out on Amazon in the 20s and then see what happens. Despite market weakness, this plane is not landing, baby. It is Nvidia, and it is exploding money all over the place today. Again, big day alert here for NVDA. I hope everybody's on it. Look at SMCI, they say. Yeah, let's look at SMCI. This is that level 4. As soon as it broke that 457 area there on the daily chart, it was off to the races. My daily chart's not working, but SMCI, there it is right into here.
470 something.
It was 450, 457, yeah. So the minute it broke this right into here, this level right there, it just blasted. I remember this day, this was yesterday or 2 days ago, went all the way up to 485, now trying to hold again. I feel like this is a great dip opportunity. We bounced off of 455 again yesterday. So far so good there on SMCI. Maybe that might have been the top for NVIDIA. Might have been a good out. Still at 124.80 though, Brendan.
Great update, guys, from Trade the Pool. Now it's even easier to get funded. As you know, Trade the Pool built a unique program to evaluate stock traders like yourself and provide you with the company's funds to trade with. It's real shares, and you no longer need to worry about the PDT rule. But that's not all. I have some exciting news for you today. Trade the Pool has introduced a new tier, $20,000 in buying power, making it easier to pass the evaluation and speeding up the process of getting funded much faster. That's right. It's that simple, and it works. You don't want to miss the opportunity. Scan the QR code, click the link in the description for more info.
There you go, and shout out to Trade the Pool. I heard Sean mention maybe a little bit of a turn there. I feel like, when NVIDIA doesn't break 125, Intel just turned at 24. If Intel gets a 1 in front of it anytime soon, it's because they did a reverse split, which they're not going to, by the way. The NASDAQ, there's no levels necessarily up here recently, so if you pull back, I think the more important thing would be on a pullback, this 2020 level, 2200 level, I should say. Clear resistance. If it bounces into support, that's going to be an opportunity to look for some dip buys. And again, like maybe we get something like a VWAP on Intel, which I'd be interested in. If we get VWAP on Intel, I don't think we're going to get VWAP on Nvidia. Tesla is lining up to try to break out the highs here, but it's not that high. It's yesterday's high that I'm concerned with on Tesla. So yeah, you got a local pop in here, but it's a 257 level on Tesla. That's the one that has to go. I don't like breaking out into overhead resistance, so forget about this $0.50. It's the even. Actually, it's 257.20. It very briefly broke the even yesterday. We going to Brendan again. We got the crypto segment here. Early. That's fine.
Back downside a little bit here. I was just checking out both Ethereum guys and Bitcoin under a little bit of pressure. That's IBIT. Yeah, these ETFs seeing inflows for the first time in a week, but looking for overall, if you zoom out to the month, still about break even either direction, in or out, as far as the money flows for the ETFs themselves. But what a move we've had. If you go to, this is Bitcoin on a daily chart, we're right at the top of, you can kind of imagine the downtrend. We're right at the top end of the range here, 64,000 still holding red, as I mentioned, so far today for BTC, but still pretty good performance since the start of the month, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at it yesterday here. Let's have a look at some more crypto names here, just real quick, just to have a quick update. I did, before I do this, though, we got more Amazon down there at 193. I'm going to give this one now to 193.90 break. Sorry, 192.90 break. We just got, we just bought, this isn't bought, we're long at 01s. This out is 23s right there. Look, there it is. So we will drop out. We had, I was going to say we have half left. It just came out. So we'll drop some money down for this. We do right now. I don't know if we don't normally go to gas, but right now it is out. I will update you on the oil number unless Brenda wants to take it. I'll probably get it in a second. I don't have it yet. But there's, okay, Brendan's going to talk about it. USO right now, just a bit higher on the tick. Brendan, what's the numbers?
It's bigger than expected, actually. Negative 4.4 million barrels. So the forecast was negative 1.4. So bigger draw than expected. 4.4 versus 1.4.
All right. Yeah, so a good little move there. Upside right now, as you can see for USO. I actually filled up last night again. I got a great price, man. 138.9. Like, I was like, okay, that's pretty good for a liter of unleaded gas. So that's not too bad. There goes USO to the upside. We can look at XOM. So remember, a liter, I think it's 3.8 liters per gallon. So that's still like $5 or so a gallon, I think. I have to look at that math. How many liters are in a gallon? We'll figure that out. And then it's Canadian dollars as well. So you got to take that into consideration. But XOM still continuing to move down, man. I mean, I don't know if oil prices are going to save anything right now. I mean, oil's been beat up. We just had USO for a minute. You know, light sweet crude has broken below. It's had a nice move back up. We talked about this a little bit with energy, and when we're looking at XLE and whatnot, it's had a good week and a bit, but yeah, it hasn't been great. When we had JC Peretz here, I believe that was earlier in the summer, maybe it was July-ish, he was liking XLE, and we can go over XLE just real quickly if it and when it loads, was liking that name in and around this area as well. So XLE, $91, $92, nice little drop in there. Good buy zone down there, 83, 84, if you want to collect some oil names and you don't want to just invest in one singular name. Oxy, again, in the patch. Yeah, pretty bad, but it had already...
It is pretty bad.
I'll fix the necklace, my guy. No worries about it. That's a superpower. That's like where we get it from. But Oxy, again, held 50, which is what I was going to say. So, I mean, I think that's a good hold. I mean, sure, it breaks that one day to 49.80. I mean, who cares? Holding $50 Occidental. I still think this is not investable yet. I mean, you'd like to get it at least back up to this gap fill level, which is 55.50. Warren's definitely not saving this stock anymore. Maybe you wait for that next note about a buy zone there for Occidental. It looks like we're a little too cute maybe with Amazon. This happens, and this was another thing that I said to my wife, love you, Marissa, last night, was I have to stop being stubborn with plays. You know, once it breaks, do not get back in just because it breaks your bottom. It breaks it because potentially it wants to go the other way. And it's okay, Sean, you could be wrong on a name. We are not wrong. Amazon, your number 2 P&L name today, just off of this right here. So again, I know we don't discuss share sizes, but if you put on a little bit of share size and able to scalp it out, that's how you can make money. So I'm actually up more on Amazon right here than I am on what is a beautiful trade for Rivian. It's just we don't have our full default there. And we don't have the reload. We just have one move down. So again, I don't have a problem talking to you guys about names that we're up on, names that we're down on, how much we're up or how much we're down on different names in relationship to each other. So Amazon right there, again, just letting you know, this is a top, like we just put this trade on. It's 10.15 right now. And it's going to be a good name for me. So better so far than our friend Rivian. And again, just because of the share size. And I think Neil and I talk about that. Make your best opportunities, the best share size you have and or can afford to hold. And unfortunately, Rivian, we talked about it. It's on the sticky note. We wrote down 1175. So our real shares were sitting there. We did have a piece of it right now, and we took 25% of the default that I would have been comfortable with on Rivian. So it's still a banger. It's still a winner. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, but that's thanks to Amazon. Which is now coming back upside. So we did drip out a half there for 10-cent hit on that one, but you can't be perfect. Maybe take profits on Nvidia, just real quick, and I'll throw it back to Neil, because I know I've been talking for a minute here. We've already taken profits on Nvidia. So we took it out right there at 124.80. We talked about it bouncing off of a key level, right? And I just said this to Yannick again in the back, and it was, Nvidia yesterday was 115, okay? Its market cap is $3 trillion. It just added 10%. It went from 115 to 125 in one day. In one day, in like 4 market hours, it added like $250 billion to its market cap, which is more than 98% of the companies that you can find in the S&P 500 in 4 hours. So there is love for Nvidia. And if you're not looking at it, you're making a mistake. It's been on the watch list. It's been the #1 stock, both sides, up and down, for this office for a minute. So good trading there on Nvidia. Please do not ignore. And as Fabian says so eloquently,
he does.
Do not forget to like and subscribe, because I'm doing this every day. So hopefully you're back here tomorrow and we can enjoy that ride one more time.
The ride never stops. And look, there wasn't a catalyst today, but semiconductors were the top of the watch list for a reason today. And it was because of what happened yesterday. There was, and this is an important point. It doesn't, sometimes you've got big news on a stock. Sometimes the news is that it's just moving. And that should be enough for a trader. It doesn't matter necessarily. It could be an upgrade or a downgrade. Actually, a good example of that is like Rivian. Rivian was just a Morgan Stanley downgrade today. Some days we'll look at a stock and say, hey, Morgan Stanley upgraded, who cares? But the difference was this time Morgan Stanley actually gave a direction that we liked anyways. So it was a reason for it to do more volume. Now, speaking of Rivian, it's the only one I'm left in. I'm going to get to Intel in a quick little second. It's making on a 15-minute here. Oh, no. On the 15-minute, it's making a bit of a bottom. The last time it had a green candle, you pull back into the previous low and dipped. I'm now trailing. If it breaks that previous low again, like this one in here, I'm going to get out and look to see if we can get in about VWAP or the 35 level, just for a little chance at a reload. Now, as far as Intel goes, when that last move down happened, it was on Nvidia, that last move down. Intel just sort of held the line here at 24. It doesn't seem to want VWAP. It's a super strong name in here today, along with the rest of the chips, but the market's only up 1/3%. It feels like it really wants to put in a bigger gap, but you can see the selling underneath 24. Like there is clearly, until it breaks back out the high, I'm going to back off to either support or VWAP. I kind of thought we were going to get VWAP on that last move. It was heavy, but they're immediately retesting this 24. I think it's trying to set up a new trend, needs a break of the high, and then a little confirmation that we're going to hold above 24. Then I want to join the trend back in. Tesla, big time nothing burger on Tesla, unfortunately, here today. And then I want to go back to Mara. Mara is still holding underneath that 16.7. So it is confirming, while the market's going higher, that it might be giving up the ghost at that same 16.70 price. So I think this is a chance to maybe get in one more time here on Mara. Don't really like much of anything else to the sell side outside of this, as long as Bitcoin's not breaking that 64 level, which it's kind of close actually.
Yeah, very close.
Actually very close.
All right, just hearing in my ear here, we are brought to you by the Benzinga Pro platform that there is some FTC is looking into deceptive uses of AI technology. You think?
No one would ever do that.
Yeah, no one would ever do that. No one would ever make like photos of like the president getting arrested when he wasn't, or photos of random other people. I actually saw Jake Paul. Mike Tyson called Jake Paul fat, and he was, I don't know if it's AI or not, but he has this fat suit on. It's hilarious right now. But anyways, that was deceptive. I don't even, here it is right here. I was waiting for the program to come through right now. Jake Paul might just knock that man out. I really hope he doesn't. I really hope.
No, I don't want to see him get hurt, man. I just don't want to.
Yeah, and like I said, man, he needs a little more cash there than that Mike Tyson. All right, FTC launches Operation AI Comply. Yeah, man, even they're rhyming there. Cracking down on deceptive AI claims and schemes with 5 law enforcement actions targeting misleading AI practices. Brendan is on the desk. If we see any movement in any stock specific names, we'll get that to you as well. For right now, I'm here to tell you I do not. I do not see anything happening in any of said names. If anything, Nvidia continues to hold highs. So I like that. I like that a lot. Let's wait to see what happens here with Nvidia now trying to get higher on those deceptive, schemy plays by the FTC. Remember, and I don't want to say this because some of you may work for the FTC, but the FTC got to get paid, and so do their employees. So,
you know,
it's kind of like, you know, if there wasn't crime, then there would be no need for certain professions. And obviously, sometimes these things are just manifested to give people something to look into. So we'll see what winds up happening. But deceptive AI schemes and claims being looked into right now by the FTC. And Nvidia says, appropriately, please hold my beer. All right, so that's what Nvidia is doing, man. We're really, I don't know if you guys can tell, but we're pretty much on cloud 9 a little bit here today with the trading. Great opportunities in Amazon, Nvidia, and Rivian. We're gonna go 3 for 3 and then just sit there. Woo! Fabian wants me to be more excited, but no, honestly, I think that like, as we go and as the money becomes more real and we actually, I know all of you guys can see what I'm doing and stuff like that, so I don't really have much to talk about. I mean, the trades are there. They're speaking clearly for themselves. And I'm just proud to have them on and proud to be here every single day the market's open, that we're healthy enough to be here. I got to give a shout out to Fabian because I know he's not even feeling that well today. And he did come in because he knows where we've been undermanned.
He's chilling
for a minute. So he's just chilling. He's feeling well enough to be here. Yeah. It's not that. It's just I know he put on his big boy pants and came in there today. So shout out to you, Fabian, man.
In the shades.
Yeah, because he's not feeling it. You know, it's like it's all about that. You know, so we got to. We can put on. We started seeing some. Oh boy, did we make some money? And this all comes back. We didn't have a losing trade since noon yesterday, by the way. And now we go again here. So we're almost running 24 hours. We get that sound effect with these glasses now? Okay, I like it. But now here we go, man. We can see the market clearly now. And we're just sitting here waiting for something to pop on Nvidia. I know you had DraftKings earlier, Neil. That name continues to sort of hover.
It was an easy bounce right off. First bounce available to VWAP. But it's not, you see what, well, I'm going to talk about Micron in a second. But you saw that Sean's chart there and there. So go back to Sean's chart if you can. I don't want to go away from mine for a quick second. Look, it's just not doing anything again. It needs to make a stronger breakout, maybe take out the highs. It was just a play off of Flutter's news. And we like that 40 level. It dipped in first available opportunity into VWAP, and it's not doing anything. So I'm not going to force a trade on DraftKings when it was a sympathy play. I got to shout out SP Williams. Thank you. You sent a few super chats lately, but you have one here for FXI. And then I'm going to get to, I was asked a question about Micron that I'm going to answer simply, and then I'm going to go to FXI. So thank you very much, SP Williams, for that super chat. But I was asked, Neil, you didn't take Micron. Why didn't you take Micron? I think the answer is simple. If we come to my chart for a second, Fabian. So Micron, yes. Did Micron continue the move upside and break it out? Answer, absolutely yes. So it's gone. It took out 95. I'm not going to argue with you there. The difference was NVIDIA did this yesterday and had this breakout set up, and Intel did this last week and had this breakout which was setting up. So you have to prioritize. I just tended to think that those two chip names were better long breaks than Micron, and they're both stronger names today. So that's the only reason you try to prioritize. Sometimes you get it wrong. I can't tell you the number of times, like I'll pick, you pick Nvidia and AMD goes or something like that, but every now and then you sort of get it right. So shout out to SP William for the super chat, and thank you guys for the questions. That's what we're here for. Yeah, so as far as FXI goes, I mean, you're actually pretty weak in here. I wanted to pull up a weekly chart if I can, just very quickly. So here we go. Yeah, like if you look at what's going on with these Chinese names, I know we've been talking in the general sense about how they're breaking out. Michael Noss has mentioned this a little bit. All that's happening, at least as far as I'm concerned, is you're still on that bit of an upward trend. You got the good news the other day about the the injection of funds and stimulus and all that good stuff. But you're right into a resistance spot on a host of names, BABA and PDD as well. So you're going into resistance on the weekly here. It happens to be at 30 on this ETF. You can pick any of the ones that you want. But yeah, you're just running into resistance on this move and getting a bit top heavy. I felt like a fade at really big levels on PDD that never got there. I mean, FXI, as you can see, a bit of a gap down with all the rest of the stocks. It's trending back up. It's deceiving that it's down. They're trending back up, but I think you want to short some of these at those highs. Specifically for myself, I was looking PDD at 115. Let's go to Brendan at the desk. Shoot, what was that about you, Skill?
Quick look at the overall market here for you guys. Pretty flat as we've seen. Overall, the market, though, positive coming from semiconductors. Once again, pretty good look for Nvidia today. AMD, QCOM, RTX, Micron there, green on the day ahead of earnings to come later in the day. Meta, nice move past couple of days, but going into this event coming up this afternoon, 1.3% to the upside. We had that headline early on this morning for Oracle, 1.6 here for ORCL, having a pretty good day. Salesforce quietly as well, more than 2% to the upside. Weakness coming from some of the banks up here ahead of earnings in a few weeks from them. We'll hear from them second week of October. October 11th, I believe, is the official kickoff. Pharmaceutical names under a little bit of pressure. Energy as well, as we saw. I mean, a move higher there on that oil number at 10:30, but oil names downside for the most part, guys.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Brandon. Yeah, nice to see Oracle there. CRM, that 2% move, that's a nice one as well. Nvidia right now at high a day. Professor, it's a three-bagger right now. $3 in the money. Three-bagger normally means 3 times. But there it goes, Nvidia, $3 in the money off our posted level and off our reload. We're $2.50 in the money off the reload. I just want to talk about Amazon one more time. I don't know, man. The market is right here at this bottom. Will we hold? Will we not? I'm going to try one more time here at 193. Just to see. It's bounced off a couple times. It's gotten back. I feel like the risk to reward, this is a trade that I'm not overly in love with because we look like we could be fading out a little bit. It's just the risk to reward here I feel like is worth it. 10 cents to the bottom, and we could get 30 cents higher. So we'll try it right now. We're long at 02s. Right now, if we can get a piece out anyways at like 12s, maybe we'll do that just to grab, that ratio that we were talking about here. So we'll see if we can get that offer right now. Upside on Amazon and just let it go. There is a bat book right there. You might have just saw that with 10,000 shares. It's gone now. We'll see. It was at 09s. We'll see if it's still there. But right now, Amazon, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. It's another one right there. We'll spend some more money right there again. And honestly, guys, this is what we talk about. We use more shares. We talk about this. We could talk about it, right? I'll use the most shares on some of these names. And that's the play. So we just went in and out there. It's 2-1 right now on Amazon. We got long at 02. We just took an 18 fill right there. And again, just scalping it out, right? Trying to scalp out, trying to get these fills going. So we got out of only 30%. It could still fall completely on our face here. Amazon, you know where the stop order is. We're just trying to play this. Maybe we shouldn't. Thank you for the credit on Rivian. I mean, it's been a big trade. We have the high of the day on Rivian. How we have that is just by sitting there. We got it. We took it out at VWAP. We took another piece out at the 50 period. We took another piece out at 11:30. We took another piece out at 11:25. And now it's breaking even lower as the market is trying to hold out. Rivian is already dead, man. We've already smoked this trade a couple times here live for you. And we're doing it again right now. It's going to be a 3-for-3 banger of a day. Neil's had a great day over here. We talked about it's probably the best day for the office, probably all month here as I look. I'm actually I don't think we have a red soul. So so far so good right there. The only thing with red souls around here are my wife's shoes.
Ruby red slippers, maybe?
No, yo, don't worry about it.
I'm not going to pretend I get that one, but yeah, Rivian's dead.
Where's Ramin at?
I'm on the bid. The Rivian's about to tag $11. So if it gets to $11, I'm out. This is the next key level on the stock. You go to the daily chart. There's nothing here.
Right.
This is about 11.10, 11.20 or so for a breakout. It was a big move to the upside when it was here the last time, but I don't think you're going to get that big of a bounce. And if it breaks that, there's nothing till about 10 even. So I want to set, I'm going to get out in front of $11. It's the last trade that we have on. I had a trail for this lower high. It never happened. So we're just going to jump out of it. I saw in the chat, someone was like, it's the most volume we've had on Intel in a long time. Yeah, probably. I'm not going to double check. I heard someone said since 2019. I mean, I don't know if that's actually true, that it's actually been this long since it had this much volume early, but it is pulling back. And the NASDAQ is pulling back as well. We're going into overnight highs, which, here we go. We're going into overnight highs, which theoretically, like resistance to support. So trying to catch a bid in here would make some sense. If we do get that, Nvidia could pull back to 24. I'm looking at Intel here at VWAP. I'm going to cancel this trend line. Don't really need it. So the pullback into VWAP is incoming. Rivian going to go to the lows. I'm getting out in front of that $11 level, which it's about to test, but I'm looking for places that we can dip by on this name. Tesla, I think, is a little bit of a nothing burger. And don't want to completely ignore what's going on with Rocket Labs. So shout out to Michael Noss. On Monday, this was his pick. Some people were asking about ASTS. He liked Rocket Lab a little bit better. It's made the breakout. I'll have to ask him on Friday. I'm doing the aftermarket show on Friday, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't remember. We've kind of switched
last week.
So it should be me this week. I'll ask him if he got into it because you can say you want a breakout trade, but sometimes you get filled, sometimes you don't. I'm going to imagine that with the move here, there was ample opportunity for this to go and get you in. There hasn't been a red candle up. 13% is Rocket Labs, just for anyone in it. It's now broken the second level on the daily here at 8:15. And yeah, kind of a blue sky setup for them. Or I guess to the moon setup, I should say.
All right. Thank you for the love in the chat, guys. That was good there. And shout out to you. Enough respect, Neil says SP Williams. Enough respect for you, man. Enough respect.
You got to say respect.
Yeah, you gotta say, well, yeah. No point having the T at the end there. All right, so Amazon put some respect on this name here as it continues to climb higher right there. We go 2-1 right now on this risk to reward. Post it up. I mean, we just talked about this. I broke this trade down. We're going to go long here. We're going to get out here if it breaks 10 cents. Now 20 cents in the money. We're looking for more on this trade. I'm actually looking right here at 25s I'm offering. I mean, we always offer these quarters, you know. Let's go. There it is. Did we get it? Yes, we did. So we got it there. 24 is there. So we'll siren that up as we get out, as now it's starting to go back up to the upside. Now a 3-1 winner right now on Amazon. So, wow. What a day, man. What a day. What a difference a day makes. There goes Rivian to the bottom as well. There goes Nvidia trying to pull back a little bit. We just touched 125 again. We have exactly 5% left. So no shares, no cry. We're fine on this one. We've had a big day there on Nvidia. We've had a big day on Rivian, and then Amazon's trying to help it out right now as well, climbing to the top of that flagpole. So far, so good here on that play. Amazon, Nvidia, Rivian. So what else you guys want to talk about here today? We had talked about IBIT, the market. I mean, it doesn't look like Bitcoin wants to do too much right here. It's just kind of hovering in and around 63, 64. So when we talk about what we like to trade in that space, it is IBIT, and it's not doing anything right now. Again, I did want to talk quickly about some of the other crypto names right here. So we're going to go to Money Talks in just a minute, but I did talk about this before. Just right now, in the last hour, pretty flat for all of these names, right? Minus 0.3, minus 0.4. There's Bitcoin right now. Last 24 hours up 1%. It's a nice little Bitcoin and crypto run the last week. Bitcoin up 6, Ethereum up 13. Tether obviously shouldn't, if that other moves, then we have a problem. Binance Coin 9.5. Solana but we were able to get out of that one at much higher. We're going to do that again if it comes near $200. That's a good one there. I don't know what, oh, that's a staked ether, okay. Dogecoin up 8 as well. Our boy Cardano has been having a rough ride, but rough riders unite, as DMX says. Don't worry about it. We will be there for this trade on Cardano. So up 16% to 39. It's money talks. You can spend it on crypto if you like.
Overall, pretty quiet, guys, for currencies around the globe so far today as well. We mentioned if you were with us first half an hour of the show this morning, make sure you join us 8:30 every single morning. We're talking a little bit about the DXY. Downside overall for the past weeks and months here. This is a daily chart, but you got to go all the way back to summer of 2023 to find the next stop here, possibly. That's 100 again coming into play for the dollar index. We're just above that and holding above that right now, but it gave back that last line, December 2023 levels, going back to the end of the day yesterday for the dollar. Elsewhere, I mean, I was just looking off screen here. Euro downside, JPY to the upside 2 days in a row here, back to 144 for the Japanese yen. Our Canadian dollar, guys, downside ever so slightly right now as well. Out of a non-confidence vote coming up today in Ottawa.
Man, we have confidence in Amazon right now. Bye-bye, Justin Trudeau. Whether or not that's good or bad, we'll find out very, very soon, as that non-confidence vote will hit him directly in the face. Okay, so here it comes right now, $2 in the money on Nvidia pulling back. But we don't even care about Nvidia anymore, because what we're doing right now is 40% still in on Amazon. So like we said, man, we just picked on this one in the last half hour or so. Another huge trade. Alert for us on Amazon. We lost one time there. That was only on half. We now have 40% as we continue to go higher. Neil, we posted this. It's a 4-to-1 risk to reward right there on Amazon, just given to everybody 10 minutes ago. There we go. We'll take a piece out now at 38. There it is. We lock in that 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio there on Amazon and just continue to have ourselves a day. What a battle back it's been for me today. The one thing that we forgot to do, though, before we go on is everybody's favorite segment. But now that Brendan's here, I think everyone's favorite segment is when that guy gets on the screen. This is not something that you're going to be able to barbecue up too much, but it's rustic chicken cacciatore. So we go back to the homeland here with some rice pilaf, sun-dried grapes, and cranberries, a little bit of sweet corn. My daughter loves some corn. Then we have a baby spinach salad, I guess, with seasonal berries. Are berries in season right now? With julienne crisp vegetables and feta cheese. I think raspberries.
Berries in season?
I don't think so either. With a raspberry vinaigrette.
Yeah, I mean, raspberries.
There is no regret in the raspberry today. So Rivian, 50 cents in the money, man. And we just stone cold chilling for a banger of a day. One of the best days I've had in a minute here. So yeah, we'll just keep on talking positively, sharing the good vibes, shouting out the boys in the back. The big day alert here for the office. So congratulations to everybody.
Congratulations, everybody. Apparently blackberries are in season. I don't know. I have no idea. I can tell you BlackBerry, the phones aren't in season, that's for sure, because they don't exist anymore. Correct, but we got raspberries yesterday, and they were hit or miss. But I don't know, the salad will be just fine, so I'm not going to complain about it.
We good.
The only new trade, we went for a dip buy on Intel in here. You know, it didn't really break out. Unfortunately, it didn't break out that 24 level, so looking for a continuation off the top's just not going to happen. So it pulls in. You have a little bit of a flattish trend here, like kind of higher highs and kind of higher lows. So I just played into this dip. We'll give it to the local bottom. I think if it loses the local bottom, you're going to VWAP. That's almost a full point away. So that's a separate trade off of VWAP. Tried to get more underneath 80s, didn't get it. But we just reloaded in front of 80s. And you know what? If it fails at 24, get out again at 24. It's now a double top. It could easily triple top up there. But the futures are trying to hold on to that overnight level. I'm out of, I said I'd get out of Rivian if we bounced off 11. It goes 11.05, made a bounce. I'm out. I'm looking for the next available shot here. If it does pull back up, there's always VWAP, but I want to observe this on Rivian. Forget about the wicks. I don't necessarily ever care about that opening wick for the trend line. It's at VWAP in here and then connect an nice little dip. So if we break this trend line, I think you really have to wait, not just for VWAP, but maybe even 11.35 up top. But as long as this trend holds, the reentry can simply be a pop and consolidation. If it does this ever again, like that kind of a consolidation, on this trend line, then I'm going short again. Pretty simple here for Rivian. It's a short till it's not. DJT, for anyone that took the 1440, great. It retraced into VWAP, but it's holding VWAP. DJT's up 8%. So yeah, it worked short 1440 if you took it, but it's trending into the upside here. So, I'm not going to be shorting this unless it fails under VWAP. I need to see that happen next. We're just back into Intel. Still nothing burger for Tesla, unfortunately. Just not seeing a trade there. But DraftKings, on the other hand, I might have jinxed it just now, was setting up for it to break the high. But, it'll get there. Really close to breaking out that top. It's making an ISO trend. Maybe a VWAP retracement at lunch here if it can bounce on DraftKings. Kind of thought we'd be taking out the top, but Flutter is not going anywhere. And this was only up because Flutter had some good numbers this morning. And Flutter going sideways. Probably have to wait till the European close when Flutter closes in London, and then maybe DraftKings will pick up again.
We had a big move here today in the market. We had talked a little bit about being bullish before the market opened. Made sure that these guys were turned around to bulls when Randy came over here. There's the market this morning. Straight upside. Took advantage of it, and that's all that you can do as a trader is take advantage of stocks that you see. We took advantage of Rivian today. We took advantage of Amazon right now, and we took advantage of Nvidia. So it's been a really, really good day. I just hope everybody else continues with that love. We do have missing one of our members today because she is on vacation. So we've got some new traders coming through for you on the midday show in about 20 seconds. Are we just trading? Are we doing lessons? What are you talking about? Finding and adjusting price objectives. So hopefully you guys have had a great day. We're going to go for a little bit of a walk coming up soon. Go phone the wife, say what's up. My daughter has now completed, she's on the ice 6 out of 7 days a week. We've been having some good vibes. We went to see her both mornings, and it was all good. Just an update on where my targets are before we go. All right, Nvidia, one more stop out. My bad, we ain't getting stopped out of Nvidia. If we just come to the chart just quickly, Fabian, then we'll go over there. All right, so we do have an offer up here at 125. If we're lucky enough to get that, let's take it, man. It's been there before. We want to make sure that we take it again. That's Nvidia up here, 125. We have less than 5% left, but that 5% is still a good amount for your boy, so we'll wait for that. This name, Amazon, we're out if it breaks 193. Target, 200 period and or basically the high of the day despite the open. And Rivian, Nepa, no outs for Rivian. Let's see how far this name wants to continue to the downside. All right, man. Josh Allen's here. No stress at all. So
they're chilling.
We're using the Josh Allen thing here. From two really good football teams with the Green Bay Packers, who is starting, failed quarterback Malik Willis.
Super Bowl party, Bills versus...
Yeah, probably. Bills versus Packers. Yeah, that's most likely. I'm not sure. Look, I knew the Cowboys were doomed the minute that McCarthy was signed over there. I mean, honestly, man, with the talent, McCarthy couldn't win with Aaron Rodgers, like one Super Bowl.
That's a Hall of Famer, too.
Come on, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Dak's not a Hall of Famer.
It's not about the players. I think it's a coaching problem. You don't have that offense, back-to-back running games, running those guys over. Where's Micah Parsons? This guy's supposed to be legit. Where's that Dallas defense? Let's go, Mike McCarthy. Motivate my guys' boys over here. This guy's a happy guy. I don't want to see this man upset no more. I could get in a headlock or something. We do not want...
You have to be sad if you're a Cowboys fan.
Right.
But at least the market's making him happy. Look... They passed on the guy that's backing up Breece Hall and the Jets.
Yeah.
The Cowboys passed on this Braylon Allen kid. Literally would be the perfect running back for their team. That just shows it's not just the coaching, the management as well. It's also the running.
7th or 8th back off the board. There's a lot of guys missed.
He fit their system so perfectly. Everybody was like, this is a perfect guy for them. And they don't take him, and the guy's already blowing up for the Jets.
Jerry's world, man, and we all live in it. So that's at the end of the day.
He's rich.
Guy's a billionaire. All right, back over to Sharif. Sorry to get you in this mood, my guy. But it is Thursday tomorrow, and they play the New York Giants tomorrow night. So there we go, man. Can you make Daniel Jones look like a Pro Bowl quarterback or not? We will find out tomorrow as Malik Neighbors catches 9 balls for 120 and 2 on Sharif's Dallas Cowboy defense. So here we go. Let's throw it over to Ezekiel Elliott and company.
Maybe 1 touchdown.